see me? We're live already? Oh yeah? Okay, well I guess we're live. Nice. Good morning everyone and happy Monday. Today we're going to talk about a topic that most of you, it probably goes right over your head. And that is, who are you and why are you calling me and why are you knocking on my door and why do you want to sell my house and why do you, like, I don't even know who you are. Do you guys ever get those questions asked to you? All the time, right? And what do we say? Well, we're the fastest growing and we this and we that, right? But they're like, you're not connecting with them on a human level because we're not taking the time to really figure out who we are and what we bring to the table. So today is going to be really interesting because we're going to cover a lot of the questions that people want to know and a lot of the things that we should be kind of thinking about before we talk to people and before we present them with something. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm a big fan of obviously making it very short and sweet, to the point. I'm also a big fan of video, I'm a big fan of images, I'm a big fan of anything that's going to be attention grabbing. So today we're going to talk about the most important things that you guys need to disclose and talk about whenever you're meeting someone new, whether it's in person or on the phone or a cold email, whatever the case may be. You need to have something of substance and value to send them. Other than that, they're just discussing selling their home with a total stranger. So you really need to have something that's going to be able to get their attention and keep their attention and also separate you, but also humanize you. So we're going to talk about all of that today. Okay, so I want to start the day off today with some culture inspiration. Then we're going to get into the who are you discussion. And then Patty, she's going to be doing her mastermind today. Patty, where you go, girl? I like your shirt. We're going to have a lady by the name of Dawn Brown from PRMG come in today. That's a real estate company. I'm sorry, a mortgage company. They're going to come in and tell us about their programs. And we're going to close out with our announcements. So hopefully we're going to try to keep the trend we're going and finish up a little early. Try to get done by 11:30. So first I want to start you guys off with some culture inspiration. So I'm just going to jump right to it. Mikey, you told me you had an event this weekend. Mm-hmm. Did you get inspired by anything this weekend? Maybe by being in nature, by being in, you know, what was it? Was it more like a battle or was it a concert?
It was a concert. We weren't battling.
Okay.
So we're performing for the beach. I mean, that was fun. But the camping part was actually, it was kind of nice. You know, usually when I'm away, the day I spend laying on the hotel bed, watching TV, the AC. And this was just like in my lounge chair, sitting under the trees. Yeah. Just like to myself, you know. It was real nice.
You're like Thoreau when he went away for like ever wrote books.
Yeah, except I didn't write any. I just, you know, I haven't been away by myself in a long time, so it was really nice to like just
that's
perspective,
good.
yeah.
Did you get what did you pull out of it? Did you get any time to meditate on your thoughts and visions, ideas, future?
You know what, it just kind of like helps cement a little bit of how confident I've been lately. And yeah, I did take that away, and I just kind of tried to continue that there, you know, because I was by myself a lot of the time. So it just was like, and actually, it's kind of funny how the customer service down there is kind of not up to par with where we are here. Yeah. And I often found myself having to be a little more patient and get my food orders wrong, you know, this and that. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let it bother me.
Gotcha. But it also made you appreciate, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The future comforts that we have.
Yeah.
That's good. It's pretty good to get away once in a while, clear your mind and reflect on what we have. Does anyone else have anything, maybe from the weekend, or maybe just something in general they've been thinking about that has really been inspiring them lately, or an event that happened that just was like an eye opener? Jen?
Lately, I've been attending. Well, last Friday, it was a fix and flip, an event, and they then are doing a 3-day event in August. I had to pay for it, but they basically break it down to you in regards to what's good as far as like property wise, what's, you know, they kind of give you like tips, and I'm just so excited. Yeah. I really am, just to learn more knowledge, because eventually that's what I want to do, is fix and flip and have my own, you know, properties that I can rent. And then in September, I'm going to a Tom Ferry event in Florida, which is going to be awesome. I'm so stoked with that.
Yeah,
so
it's really big for you.
Yeah, I just can't wait to soak up knowledge.
Good, so you've been inspired by all this stuff that you've been hoping.
And I'm doing my first time homebuyer seminar next month, so I got a lot on my plate, but super stoked.
You know what I'm getting away from what you're saying is the fact that you're kind of, you're not waiting for anyone's permission, you're just doing. You're just
Absolutely.
letting things fall where they may. And they're not going to be perfect. Nothing's going to ever be perfect, even if you've done it a dozen times. But you're not scared to try, which
No.
is great. So you guys should actually be inspired by what Jen is doing.
I feel
That's
like
good
you
stuff.
hold the keys to your success as a person.
Yeah.
So if I don't take that initial steps and going forward and do what I have to do, then I'll never.
Yeah.
So I'm going hard and I can't wait.
Nice.
I just hey, I'm excited.
Good plan. I'm gonna pick on you, Derek, for a sec, because you, I haven't even asked you, but you recently did like a 3-day walk, right?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to it's meant to kind of like give you time to reflect on life and pull it out of it what you may. So tell us what you got out of that. Did you get any inspiration, or just get a whole bunch of body aches?
Oh, a little bit of both, but
Both?
it's funny that you asked. I was actually talking to somebody about it like this weekend, and I feel as though the biggest thing for me, like the reason for it is like people do it for they have like some form of promise, I guess, and that was one of the reasons that I did it. I had a promise that I wanted to like I guess fulfill, but then at the same time I kind of wanted to do it to prove to myself that difficult things that are difficult to do can be done if you can like control your own mind and your own mindset.
Yes.
And throughout the entire walk, like I knew like a good 60% of the people that were there, and I was the second day, and the first and the second day I was the last person to finish, like by far. And they kept coming up to me asking me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you want like painkillers? You want this? You want that?"
Wow.
And I couldn't even walk. I couldn't straighten my legs at all. And they like everybody was like asking me like, "Oh, are you gonna finish? Are you gonna finish?" And I just kept telling myself, the second that I say no to one person, like I'm not gonna finish. So like every time somebody asked me, I kept telling myself, just keep saying yes. Just keep saying yes. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish. And there were like hours like throughout the days where I was walking like alone, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt like I was gonna die. Like I was like having like anxiety attacks in the middle of it. But like I kept like positive and kept telling myself and kept trying to distract myself from like the pain and like the situation. And it kind of just I guess proved to me that everything that you want to do can be done. Like if you can control your mind, you can control your life, and that's like the biggest
I love that.
like thing that I got out of it.
That's amazing.
By far.
So what did I mean? A lot of people didn't finish, right? There was a lot of people who.
This year there was a lot less people that didn't finish. Last year was really bad.
Okay.
Last year people were passing out left and right.
Got it.
But
Where would you sleep at night?
the first night I slept in a truck in the back of a semi.
Back of a semi truck.
Yeah. The second night.
Did you ask, or was that set up for you guys to sleep?
Oh,
You
no,
go to
the
a truck stop. Hey,
People slept inside of a church, but it smelled like so much Bengay and sweat. So like there was a truck driver there, and he was sleeping in like the front, like a bed up there, and then like a couple people slept in the back. And the second night, slept in tents. So.
Wow, dude, that's really cool. How did that feel, not knowing where you were gonna sleep or eat that day? Like, I was kind of like.
Well, we knew we had rest stops, but it was definitely like. I was excited because I wanted to do this for like the last 4 or 5 years, but I was at the same time like fearful because I hadn't prepared for it at all, and I didn't know what to expect. Like I've helped, so I've seen what other people have gone through, but there was just so many like things that I learned as I was walking that I didn't even know from people telling me. Like one stupid little thing that I had no idea was when you're walking, every so often you'll see people like it almost looks like they're like there's like this Portuguese dance called it's called rancho.
Can you show us?
I don't know how to do it, but like they literally dance with their hands up like this, yeah. So like sometimes people will randomly scream rancho time and put their hands up and start walking like this. And I was looking at them like, what the hell's going on? Like what? And I found out that apparently they do that because for walking so long, like your hands get swollen.
Really?
From like I guess being down by your side for so long. So like that was like one little thing, like little things like that I learned like throughout.
That's no joke. I thought you guys were going on like a stroll for 3 days.
Oh,
like
no.
Talking about life.
But nah, the first night I got like a 30-minute massage on my legs, and I had like my legs all taped up. The second night I wrapped like both my knees like 3 or 4 times. So like, but It was
How many miles is that in total?
the first day I think it's like 20.
Mm-hmm.
The second day is like I think 40, and then the fifth day is like 6 or 7.
Oh, so the third day is like the finish.
Yeah,
Okay, that's crazy.
it's like, it was something like that.
So in total it's like 67, 70 miles or something
Yeah, I
like
was
that?
like 60, 65 or
65.
something like that. I hear people say 60, 65, 60. I don't think anyone really knows, but
Okay.
it's something like that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So where do you start, where do you end?
We started at the post office in Elizabeth
And then you end where?
in Washington, New Jersey.
Washington, New Jersey?
Yeah. It's like I think it's called Lady of Fatima Shrine or something like that.
Okay. Well, how do you charge yourself? Do you have your cell phone with you? Do you have anything you're listening to while you're
I
walking?
wasn't listening to anything. The only time I started listening to music was when I was like walking by myself and I felt like I was going crazy.
Yeah?
So I was
Did you
like,
carry a book bag the whole time?
no, I didn't carry anything.
But you could if you wanted to, right?
You could.
Like a camel pack or something?
Yeah, people were. I didn't carry anything. I had like a little fanny pack type of
Yeah.
thing. That's it. But
What would you do differently next time you walk?
actually prepare.
Prepare, right?
Yeah.
Not do like a David Goggins with some Ritz crackers and.
There are people that they do it without talking or eating the whole time.
Oh, really? So it's more of a spiritual thing for them.
Yeah. So like, that's I know someone that she's done it like that every year. This year she just didn't eat,
Got it.
but
3-day fast, but they drink water, hydrate, obviously.
yeah, they drink water and like Gatorade and
That's
that's
awesome.
it.
I love that.
So
So what's next? Now that you completed this one,
I don't know.
are you the type to keep pushing themselves to like bigger things, or you just want to do it easier next time? Be more prepared.
Rent a bike.
Rent a bike. Get some skates.
People do it with a bike too.
Oh yeah.
People start from watch on reservation and they go straight there on the last day. Like it's just a 1 day thing though.
Oh okay.
But nah, I
You
mean
haven't thought about what's next? Because you're probably in so much pain. You're like, I can't just wait to get this over with.
it got to a point where I felt like I didn't even feel the pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause the first and the second day, like I finished, I was like the last one to finish until lunchtime, and then the second day, like the second half of the day, there's like a huge mountain that everyone calls like the Killer Hill or something,
Yeah.
and I don't know what happened like after that, like I got like some burst of energy,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was looking at me like, where did this kid come from?
Mhm.
I was an hour and a half late to lunch, and it was like a 2.5 hour break.
Yeah.
So I got like an hour to just relax, and we got like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, I just like went up the hill as if it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but yeah, so there was a point where like I wasn't really feel the pain anymore.
For those of you guys who don't know, Derek plays soccer for hours every week. Like he's in shape. So for someone like him to like struggle through that, what would you do to prepare better next time? I mean, it's a whole different thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would have actually started walking probably like a month before
Make walking more of a routine before you
Yeah.
actually show up.
because like
Your knees weren't ready for it, right?
not at all. I thought soccer, whatever you're running back and forth, like
Mm-hmm.
I'll be fine. And yeah, like okay, I finished right, but like had I actually prepared, like 'cause I didn't realize how much it actually takes a toll on your knees from I guess going like
Yeah.
consistently for hours and hours. So like I don't know. That's probably what I would do differently is actually walk, like prepare more specifically for it.
Now, is it a walk or do some people run it? Is it? Or
Some
is it
people
different?
run.
Oh, so it's different for everybody.
Yeah, some people run. I only know one person that I know of that ran the whole time once,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a couple years ago.
So they probably finished in like a day and a half, or.
Oh no. So you get there and then you just camp the night, and then you go the next day. But they just got there earlier than everybody else.
Oh, so they still take their breaks.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool, man. I don't know about you guys, but I got inspired from Derek. That's a cool story. I'll look to if I can do that with you next year. That sounds like a lot. If you do it next year, I am. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, cool. Somebody's upstairs. You go see what it is. Okay. Does anyone else want to share any story? Okay. Explain to everybody what.
NARAP is like a bunch of realtors, brokers, and
Real estate professionals.
real estate professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that we just networking event, like talking, hey, what do you do, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Lenders, harmony lenders, regular mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just get to meet everybody, and then it's good because you see them on when you're looking at the listings. that you
Oh,
want
you
for
see
your
the
buyers.
pictures.
You see the pictures.
Uh-huh.
So now it's like it's
Yeah.
easier when you already talk to the person. Hey, you remember that?
They
And
don't
that
really,
helped me a lot because I went to networking events before.
uh-huh.
The same person that I met, like whatever party or whatever, is the listing agent. So I tell me, hey, remember that? Hey, help me out with this. How's you? So it's like a smoother transaction when you know the person.
They don't look like they do in their pictures, right?
Not at all. Like 20 years ago.
20 years
That's usually the rule of thumb.
And then I joined the 5 a.m. East Coast 5 a.m. East Coast Club.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to wake up at 5,
Mm-hmm.
but they are today.
Not today. Not today. Today, no.
And then I'm gonna jump on a conference call at
Yeah.
5 a.m. And it's nice
It's an
people talking,
accountability group, right?
like Tom Ferry and
Mhm.
people, top people.
That's nice,
And
right?
they can give you like, and I'm really listening to the podcast because you can listen afterwards.
Sure.
And it give you a very good ideas and the stuff that is working for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that if you had the same schedule as a millionaire, one day you're gonna get there because you're doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It matters a lot how you start
Just
your
a
day.
matter
and
of
getting
time.
started.
That's all.
Absolutely. That's good, bro.
Thanks.
Did you get a lot of love because of the culture gear? Because we're well received at
Oh,
the
yeah.
events, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Get more of those though.
That's good, bro. Anyone else want to share anything? Any inspiration that they might want to share with anyone else? Okay. All right, I'll share with you guys what I'm inspired by right now. It's been about 10 days or so. I cut out all sugar out of my diet. All sugar, like even like fruit and everything. So, because I've been listening to a lot of nutritional podcasts, and a lot of the like top doctors in nutrition, they're talking about how our bodies are not designed to eat processed foods, sugars, and things like that. We should be more of a protein and fat-based diet and very little carbohydrates. So I've been doing it for about 10 days, and it's not as hard as you guys may think because I'm never hungry, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at night. But I'm actually, now that it's starting to kind of kick in, I'm getting a lot of energy. Like on Sundays, usually it's like my day to just like crash and just like sleep all day. But yesterday I couldn't even sit down. I was just like playing with my kids all day, and it just felt like I was more energetic than I normally would be. So I feel like it's starting to take effect. And the thing is, your body doesn't want to let go of that routine. Though your body doesn't want to let go of feeding itself off of sugars because that's the easiest energy to consume. But once your body starts to make the adjustment from feeding off sugar and feeding off fat reserves, you go through this kind of switch in your body. And your body doesn't like it because your body is thinking like, okay, what am I going to do now? I don't have any energy left. It takes a little bit of time for it to kind of switch over to burn the real good stuff, which is the fat. It's actually a better source of fuel for us. So I did have a day where I was kind of like low energy. I felt like I was nauseous, and it's part of the routine. But now that I've actually gone through that, and I feel like now my body's starting to make the adjustments. It's been a full like 10 days since I started that. I feel like so energized. I get up in the morning a lot with more energy throughout the day. I feel like I have a lot more brain power, more capacity. And it's just because I think that our bodies are meant to run off of that kind of food, because we've only been eating this processed diet for about 100 years. So our bodies are not really, prepared to consume that. And it's funny because I heard this podcast that said, if you take your dog or if you take your horse to the vet, and you tell the vet, my animal's sick, the first thing the vet's going to say is, what are you feeding the animal? But if we go to the doctor never asks you what you're eating. They always say, oh, what are your symptoms? Okay, well, here, take this drug. Never go back to your diet. And everything starts from your diet. Every kind of disease that we normally see nowadays, especially the more prevalent ones, diabetes and heart disease, all these things, really comes from what we put in our body. So I've been inspired recently from that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and maybe I inspired one or two of you in this room to look into that a little further. I gave myself a 10-day challenge, but I'm gonna extend it out because I really want to see what lasting effects it'll have. Yeah.
Would you say you cut off the sugar from the fruits too? Like you don't eat fruits at all?
No. Well, on this kind of diet, you're limited to having about 20 to 30 grams of not sugar, but carbohydrates a day. So if you want that to be a non-ripe banana or a green apple, or if you want it to be in the source of maybe mixed nuts or something like that, then you can do that. But you can't have it where like you're eating constantly fruit all day long, because that's sugar. your body is going to convert that to sugar eventually. Even though it has fiber in it and it's good sugar, it's better than eating like a donut or something. It's still, if you're trying to get your body to start using its fat reserves as energy instead of having it using the carbohydrates as energy, you kind of have to go through that for the first month or so. Afterwards, you can introduce, you know, fruits and stuff into your diet. But initially, if you want your body to make that switch, you have to kind of eliminate that. But you can look into it. There's a ton of videos, especially the guy who created, you guys ever seen those Quest bars?
Yeah.
Yeah? He does a lot of those videos. His name is Tom Bilyeu. Tom Bilyeu. Look him up on YouTube. He has a lot of great, you know what, the thing about him is good is that he's like one of the best interviewers in the entire, you know, business of podcasts. So he gets like PhDs, doctors, people who have written like, you know, these theses on diet. So he gets real good people on his podcast. So all the information you're getting is like scientifically tested stuff. It's not just some random guy in his basement filming, you know, how to eat right. So it's been, you know, tried, and this is something that, you know, I recommend you guys look into. You know, so obviously look into that. If it's good for you, I guarantee you guys you'll feel a lot better. It'll take a little bit of time because obviously nothing is worth it. It's easy, but you'll get there. All right, good. So we're going to now jump into who are you? Okay, this is going to be fun. Before we do that, I want to talk to you guys about the quote of the day. Our quote of the day today is, if you don't know what makes you special, how can you ever expect to win? So if we don't know what's good about us or great about us, we can't ever project that to anyone else. We need to always look within ourselves first to see why would somebody want to work with me? Why am I different than the next person? What do I bring to the table that no one else can? You know, what is my strength? What is my weakness? You need to find out these things, because before you can ask anyone else to give you their business, how could you ever look them in the eye and say, yeah, well, you know what, I'm the best, and then come up with something at the tip of your tongue? It's like, it's hard to do. And sometimes you may even catch yourself saying something someone else says just because it sounded right. And then you think to yourself, like, I didn't mean that, you know? So you guys have to take time to really figure out what it is that makes you great at what you're doing and why you do what you do. You know, you also have to talk about, you know, what's your driving force behind being in real estate? You know, why is it that you guys chose this profession over anything else? You know, what are you trying to get out of it? So I know a lot of you guys are newer in the business, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being newer in the business, as long as you can explain to them what type of person you are within your presentation. There's nothing wrong with being new. It just shows a lot of people that you may have more passion since you just started a new venture in your life. You really have a big passion for what you're doing, and as long as you can explain to them that you have the right people around you and in your team, you know, there shouldn't be a problem with experience, you know, because you do, when you're new, you do have to mention the experience you have around you. You can't say, yeah, guys, I've been doing this about 6 weeks now, and I figured it all out. I read a couple books, and I got this, and I'm going to sell your house in 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. I got this, right? No, you're not going to be able to get away with that. You have to make sure that you explain to them that you have the resources, the tools, the people, the knowledge around you, and you have, you know, data to back it up. You have, you know, all the things that people would want to see before they can make a decision. So when talking about who you are, the best ways to explain to someone who you are with a resume or a bio. Okay, who in this room has a real estate resume or a bio? You have one? Okay, good. All right, so that's a pretty small percentage of the room, and across the office, it probably isn't too many more people in the entire lineup that we have. But a real estate resume and a bio is one of the most important things that you can have as a real estate agent. On your new agent checklist, I have on there, get your video bio done. And when I tell you guys, if you were to pay someone to do this, it'd be about $1,000 to do it. We have a media department in-house that does it for you guys for free. But a lot of agents don't take advantage of it. But the reason why you need that is because when you meet someone over the phone or meet someone via email or however the case may be, or even face-to-face, if they say, can you leave me your card? Sure. Not only will I give you my card, I'll also instant message you my bio. And if your bio is professionally done, not you on your cell phone in your car, like you do check your makeup sometimes, but a real video, people are going to look at you like, wow, this is a true professional who has taken the time out to do a great quality video. So if you're not comfortable doing a video in person just yet, I get it. You got to figure something else out. So you got to put together a beautiful bio with your headshot in it, or do a resume And I know what you're saying. I have, all but 6 months in the business. That's okay. We have another life before real estate. Talk about all your achievements that you had before real estate. Talk about all the potential background that you have that would make you a better real estate agent also. Some people come from the property management background. Some people come from an accounting background. Some people have a construction background. And all those things you can use to kind of show them how much more effective you can be because you have those skills. So we need to figure out, first of all, before we create our bio, we need to brainstorm and figure out what it is that we have to offer. What do we bring to the table? Are you an investor and maybe you can see things better as an investor because you have all this training behind you? Whatever it is that makes you different, figure that out. And if you guys still haven't done your video bios, it's not too late. You guys just have to make an appointment with the media department to make sure you guys get those done. If you guys have an old one from way back when and you want to update it, feel free to do so. Just make sure that you schedule it with the media department when they have availability. Or with Derek. Sorry, I apologize. All right, so what should be in your resume or your bio? Obviously, your title. Your title is very important. But what if we have more than one title? What if we are real estate agents, but we also love to do staging, right? We can say something like we're real estate professional and staging expert. What if we know about real estate as far as investing goes? You can say something like a real estate professional and investor guru. We can say whatever it is that we're not limited to just saying realtor. Like, you don't just have to say realtor. You guys can separate yourselves from other people by giving yourselves different titles. You can say something, if you don't have anything else to offer, you can say something like real estate professional and super mom, like whatever. You at the very least, you're going to get compassion from someone else, or you're going to get a chuckle out of someone, but at least you're being honest about, what you're proud of. Because being a super mom is not easy, right? Being a super mom must be one of the hardest things to do.
Oh my God.
Look at Jen's like, she's about to go off.
Oh God, don't get me started.
She's like, that's me.
She's good.
And it's only one of them.
Exactly.
So it's tough, guys. I mean, whatever it is that you feel is your strength, even if it's, I'm a life coach, or I'm a sports fanatic, or whatever it is that, really you're passionate about, you can really get into health and life and wellness. Whatever it is that you feel like should be spoken about and you don't want to hide, put it in there as your title. It doesn't have to be a plain old, yeah, I'm just a realtor. Whatever it is that you have, and we'll go over this together, what ideas maybe you guys can put together. Make sure you're very detailed about what you guys are into. Next, you're going to have an about me. Now, an about me should not be your life story. It should not be, a whole book about, what the things that happened to you as a child, and none of those things. An about me should be something very concise, kind of like highlights of your professional career and things that drive you. And it should be probably about a paragraph. It shouldn't be that long. It should be something that someone would consume within less than a minute. Because when people see a long description, their brain automatically says, this is going to take some calories. This is going to take some energy. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I need something that I can instantly consume. I don't know if you guys have seen recently that now articles tell you before you get started reading them how long it's going to take you to read them. It says a 3-minute read, a 4-minute read, a 5-minute read. It just says, because people don't want to dive into something that's going to take them all day to read. So be very concise about it. Be very to the point. People like bullet points because they know they can digest it easier. If it's one, you guys ever get that text from that person that's like this long, and you're like, holy moly, I'm not going to read this whole thing. And then you just read the first line and the last line, and you try to make up whatever was in the middle. That's kind of like what people are going to do if you give them a big old bio this long. You don't want to do that. Your photo should be in your bio. And I don't mean just any photo. I don't mean like a selfie you took at a nightclub in a bathroom. You should have a really nice photo. The quality of the photo, the dimensions, all of that has to be done proportionally to how you're going to use it. You don't want a skewed picture. You don't want a blurry picture. You want it to be the right picture for your bio. We're going to get into why that's so important in just a moment. If you guys don't have a photo, if there's anyone here who hasn't had their headshot yet, and I know that there was, I believe, like 1 or 2 people that were missing. I checked the other day about, some of our newer agents haven't had their headshots yet. But if you don't have a photo, you're not happy with your photo, just raise your hand. Tell Derek, listen, I need a new headshot. We can always get a new headshot. And like Alejandro said earlier, some of these headshots are getting pretty dated, including my own, you know. So, we want to make sure we update our photos every so often. If not, we're going to end up like some of those 1980s realtors that still have that. All right, so photo is important, guys. Now, okay, we want to highlight our strengths, right? We definitely have to highlight our strengths because people want to know about what is it that really, 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 really is different about you. And all our strengths are going to be different. We don't have to have the same strengths as our neighbor. This isn't like one size fits all. You're going to resonate with some people and not with others, but that's okay. We don't have to work with every single person in the world. Be proud about what your strengths are. Your strengths don't have to be all real estate related. They could be mostly real estate related. If you feel you're a good negotiator, you're a good people person, you're a good, how would I say, closer, whatever it is that you feel you're proud of, talk about it and just give them bullet points of what your strengths are, what you really can do well for them. And then your achievements. What have you done in the past? Maybe you graduated college with a 4.0, or maybe you walked a 3-day marathon, or maybe you helped build a children's hospital in Ecuador, or like something, anything. Charitable things are good. So if you guys have some of that stuff, maybe you volunteer your time. You take in foster dogs. Like whatever, anything. It's just whatever it is that makes you proud to say, look, I do this. Not that you're bragging or patting yourself on the back, but you also can't be secretive about what you do. You have to be very out in the open about what your achievements are. Then you need to find out who can review you. And if you're a brand new agent with no clients, that's okay. You don't have to have real estate clients review you. What about your college professor? What about your coach? Maybe what about your wife or your husband? Maybe they can give you a review about what kind of a person you are. Your pastor, anyone can give you a review as long as you feel like they're people who hold some kind of a good position in your life. So don't get worried that like, oh, I only have one client, I can't get 3 reviews from more than one client. But 3 is the magic number. So try to get 3 reviews, short and sweet. Nothing that's going to be longer than your bio. A couple lines is perfect. They just want to, you want to be able to have validation from other people. And then your contact info. Never forget to put your contact info, because if you're giving someone a bio, they're like, yes, I love this person. How do I contact them? I can't find a number here, or where's an email address? There's nothing here. So make sure that you always have your information somewhere in your bio, somewhere in the description, somewhere, anywhere. That way people can see that, okay, well, yes. I love it.
Sorry.
That's all right. So she's really liking this presentation. Yeah,
No,
yes.
I finally got the time and the location for my closing date tomorrow.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. So,
Sorry.
no, don't worry. That's totally fine. So yeah, contact info, guys. And if you have social media and you're a social media expert, make sure you have all your platforms on there as well. Try to make it very neat, clean. People like that, aesthetically pleasing. Recently, Mike did a video that he's going to release pretty soon about like how to make your layouts better, because there's sequences the human brain likes to process better. And he got real technical on us, but play around with your layouts. Make sure that they catch people's attention and they are aesthetically pleasing. Don't make everything crowded at the bottom, and don't make everything kind of too spread out where like the eye doesn't know where to go. People follow patterns. They like to see, first of all, what gets their attention and where do they go from there. People need to be instructed on where to go. Just like in anything else, like even when you show a home, you have to instruct people where to go. That's why stagers usually stage a home in a certain way, because the flow of the home, or the flow that the way people normally process how to walk through a home, has to be staged in that way. So you can't have a room staged and then the next room not staged and the third room staged. It just doesn't make sense. So make sure that your bio looks somewhat easy to read and easy to process. You don't want something that's all over the place. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some examples of what a bio or a resume can look like. I'm going to give you an example of mine. So one that I've done for myself. Actually, I have 2 versions of this, but what I've done was I've taken a great headshot that, as you guys can see, when you take a great headshot, you can either expand it as big as you need it, or as small as you need it, and it won't mess with the resolution, because you have so much information in that picture that it doesn't matter how big or small you make it. So what I've done is I've basically just made it where I give my title, as you guys can see up here. There's a title, and I think our proportions are a little bit skewed, but it doesn't really matter. You guys can see it for the most part. This is a short bio I created for myself. I'm going to share this with you guys.
Like a magazine cover.
It looks like a magazine cover, exactly. It looks like I'm on some magazine cover. And this, when people get this on their cell phone or on their email, they're going to be like, wow, you know, this guy really took the time out to create something really nice. So what I did was I worked around my picture. So I created my title and I put it up here. My title says speaker, entrepreneur, and real estate guru. So I feel like that was something that I'm proud of. These are things that I love doing. And I put it right there, very prevalent. So that separates me from just a real estate agent. So when people think on the phone, oh, I thought I was getting a real estate agent. Damn, I just got a whole bunch more than I bargained for. You know, when you say those things, you add more value. People now start to see, like, I'm not just getting someone who knows how to list and sell a home. I'm getting someone who knows how to build businesses, talk to people, and not only just a real estate expert, but a guru. So you guys can start to see how play on words makes people feel differently. And then, you know, obviously I told them where to start because I said hello. So that kind of tells the brain, start here. So as you can see, I highlighted the hello and I made it different colors. And I tell people it's brain, start here. And then right underneath it, it says my name. I'm Louis Leyva. And then as people usually know how to read books, they read down. So you start with the about me. So the about me in there, and I'll read it off to you guys quickly. I know you guys can't see it there, and I'll share it with you guys as well. But it says, Louis Leyva, CEO of Culture Estate based in New Jersey, has grown his company 3,500% since October 2016, runs multiple real estate businesses, licensed instructor, mentor, speaker, for auction.com, producer of multiple online real estate web series, featured on Inman, Realtor Magazine. Louis has been involved in over 2,000 transactions and closed over $500 million in sales. Louis has a passion for educating agents and philanthropy. So that was a real short about me, but I got to all the major points I wanted to hit. And believe me, it took me a while to kind of condense it down because when I started writing it, it was long. So what I did was I abbreviated, I shortened, I got to the point. People would rather read this than my actual autobiography. That's a lot easier to get. And then on my achievements, I have underneath, you know, I have some achievements that, and the thing with achievements, guys, in your bio is you're gonna have to constantly update this at least every quarter because you guys are achieving stuff every day. So make sure you update this because a year from now, you can look at your achievements and be like, oh, that's baby stuff. You know, like I could do that in my sleep now. So you guys always update this. So for instance, my achievements go like this. They say contributor for Inman, speaker for auction.com, mentor, CEO, and broker of record, YouTube series producer, licensed real estate instructor, committed to eliminate childhood slavery, master of self-development, and accomplished entrepreneur and investor. So those are my achievements. And then as you go here, you see my expertise. These are the things that I enjoy doing: self-development, real estate sales, investing, business, lifestyle design. All right, then as you go down, you see my reviews. So now I've picked some reviews from people who, and this is my bio that I send out to like podcasts or to speaking engagements or wherever I'm trying to grow the name. So these reviews are based off of people who would have some clout in that kind of space. But if I wanted it to be more real estate based, I'd probably get some of my clients to review me. So here it says one of my reviews comes from Daniela from Toastmasters. It's a speaking club I belong to. It says, very inspirational and well organized. You are a great speaker. Bravo. That's what she said. Daniela Pipinero. Sorry. Next one says, Louis has a way of connecting with people and making them feel like anything is possible. You guys, I think, know this guy, Ed Hendrickson from the Hustle Estate podcast. Ed Hendrickson. He's famous, guys. And the last one I have is Louis has done a great job educating our staff and customers. He is an exceptional speaker and motivator. I always look forward to hearing Louis in action. That's from Trent Ferris from auction.com. So I created these short reviews that people can just kind of like digest very quickly. And then across the bottom, as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, I have my contact information. So I have my cell phone number, I have my email address, and then I've created a personal website for myself. You guys can buy a personal website for yourselves for $12 a year, $1 a month. So if you guys don't have one yet, my name was already taken, so I had to go with the next best thing, which was lleyva.com. It's not functioning yet, but one day I'll have it up and running. But at least I got the URL, you understand? So now this URL, I can create a personal website with it, with all my highlights, my speaking gigs, all the things I've done for that, and you know that's where people will go and see my stuff. So do you guys think this is a pretty good bio? I mean, it's pretty to the point. Yeah. This literally took me like an hour to do myself, and I'm not a graphic designer. I am not a writer. I am none of that stuff. All I did was model. I've modeled other people's bios, and I've done it for myself. So I'm going to walk you guys through the steps of creating your own bio today. So that's why my presentation is rather short, because most of today's mastermind is going to consist of you guys actually putting this into practice, because it does you guys nothing to absorb this, and then we go on to our busy lives, and then we never do it. So today we're going to take a good, I would say you guys can probably get it started and almost wrapped up in probably like 30 minutes. So I'm going to walk you guys all through the steps of doing it. And then, as I mentioned, on the right, here's my resume. So my resume is 2 pages long. I just gave you guys the first page for an example. It's a pretty good resume, I'm not going to lie. You know, when I need it, it's there. But I have all the titles I've held and from what dates to what dates. And this is just for real estate. So if you were on the receiving end, would you rather receive this, or would you rather receive 2 pages of this? You guys just the left, right? Exactly. So what I'm saying is, yes, you have the option to do either or, and you should have the option to do either or, because if you take your business seriously, there may be people who may want to know more than just this. You know, this is a good opener. But if someone says to you, listen, I need to know a little bit more about you. You know, sometimes when it comes to you know, building relationships, people want to know, you know, where did you go to school? How, you know, where did you grow up? You know, those types of things. And, you know, what charities have you been involved with? For how long? And those types of things. And this could be a solution for that. But to break the ice and have someone trust you, this is a really, really great thing to do. Now, the next, if you want to level it up, you know, pin this with a video bio produced by our team. You're killing it. Nobody's doing that. You know, if you guys are reaching out to people on the phone and you have nothing to send them, I don't want to say you're wasting your time, but you're going to lose some clients because they don't know who you are. And if they Google you right now, there's probably nothing up about you as a real estate agent because you're new. There's probably very limited things. You guys, like I always say to you guys in the beginning, spend time on your profiles on Zillow, on LinkedIn, on Trulia, on Realtor, because those create the most SEO, search engine optimization, searchability for you guys. Because when you put your stuff there and they Google you, all of a sudden now you come up as a real estate agent. If you don't do that, you're coming up as whatever you used to do before. And hopefully it wasn't anything bad. But that's where you're coming up with. So today I'm going to tell you guys and walk you through the steps of how to do this. So simple to do. Does anyone need a laptop, or is everyone pretty covered? Does anyone need one? Good. Good. Everyone's pretty good. You guys excited about creating your bios? You guys look a little worried that you might not have anything to write about yourselves. Oh, good, good, good. I heard one person say they're excited. I'm going to just do it for her. All right. First thing you guys are going to want to do is go to this website, and I've used it totally free, and don't pay attention to anything you see here. Don't pay attention to that, Patty. That wasn't meant for you to see. Okay. Okay, guys, I want you to go to a website called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Canva. Great, good. Open it up on your computers now. You're ahead of the game already. Do I have any? Okay, I wasn't connected. Sorry, guys, I was connected to the wrong internet.
What is it called?
Canva. C-A-N-V-A. Let me know if anyone's having a problem getting there.
Canva.com, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Try it free for 30 days? Or
Yes, it's always free. Who,
sign up?
yeah, just sign up. I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. Who doesn't have a headshot of themselves? Everyone has a headshot? Okay, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that. Joel, you got a headshot, right?
I was gonna ask them later.
Hmm?
I was gonna ask them.
I think you have one.
No,
You want me to send it to you?
no, that's no.
Oh, you can't skip out on this, by the way. You have to do it along with us, and you can't do it on a tablet, I don't think. Can you? Yeah? Okay.
I took my headshots, but I never actually, I don't have them like on the computer.
Would you like for me to send you your headshot? I have everyone's headshots. I have everyone's headshots. Actually, in Drive. Just go to headshots.
You do know that's when I had blonde hair, right?
You didn't have blonde hair in that picture. Just use it for now. Just use it for now, so you can play along. Okay.
I'll use a selfie.
Sure.
So we put,
Yeah.
so we do like personal, small business, large company? That's coming from,
Just-
tell us why you were using Canva for, oh,
Just personal, but yeah.
popular.
Okay, you guys. So once you get to Canva, I want you to either type into this search bar or look under Creative Design for something that says Resume. You got it, guys?
No, it brings up a menu of things that we're supposed to be picking.
Are you guys creating a new account for yourself? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Just go through that. Go through those steps. It'll ask you for.
Can I just use Google Docs for now?
You can't do on Google Docs what you're gonna do here. Go to Canva.
Just the outline.
Huh?
Just the outline first.
What outline?
Because you know how you condensed yours to really small?
Mm-hmm.
You started off big, so I kind of want to like shrink it.
You will. You can do it on here. It's cool. Don't worry about it. You can use Google Docs to write down what you want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then obviously we're not going to use that as your final product. Okay. Once you guys are there, I want you guys to look for your headshots. Good morning. Esther, you need a laptop? You have yours? Okay. Okay, once you have that, guys, I want you to go here where it says import an image. Once you guys are in, you'll have to go to uploads. It's on the left. Let me see why the... Yes.
Where are we?
Go to canva.com. If you don't have an account, create an account. Can you bring her up to speed, Alejandro, real quick while I fix this computer, this view? Aspect ratio. You guys will be all right. Okay, so once you have your headshot, guys, I want you to grab your headshot and just dump it wherever you need it. So if you guys want your bio to look like mine, you can simply do that by just getting your headshot and we'll expand it. If you guys want something like that. Now, if you don't want your bio to be like mine, if you want your picture to be smaller, there are layouts that you guys can use right here in your templates section. You see on the left it says templates. You guys can use one of these layouts if you prefer. But if you want to make it like mine, that's fine. It's really cool the way I have everything written over my image. But whatever you guys decide to do, Just make sure that you plan for it before you just start pasting stuff on here, because everything has to go in order. So if you want the writing to go over your picture has to go in first, then the writing afterwards. Okay? If you guys want to pick one of these layouts, then you would have to pick a layout first, and then you edit the picture, you edit the writing. Okay? So we're working on our bios today, Esther. We're working on our bios, so that way when we're calling people, prospecting on people, they know who we are, so we can send them over something nice. So my bio that I send to people looks something like this, Esther. Okay? So I asked people, this is my resume, and this is my bio. And I asked everyone which one would they rather read. They would rather read this because it has smaller bullet points, it's more, how would I say it, it's more eye-catching, and obviously it has all the details, and it has my picture. So now people get the whole shebang all in one place. So I went over the things, I'm not sure if you were watching on Facebook, but I went over all the topics of the things you should have in your bio, and I can share that with you guys via email, so you guys can have that presentation. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create one of these for yourself, okay? And I'll put on the screen what should be in it once you guys start getting busy with this. Okay, so, but I want to get you guys up to speed first. Okay. A show of hands real quick, who's lost? Has no idea what the hell they're doing. Anyone? Okay, so you guys are at this screen already? You guys have either picked out a layout for yourselves, or you're going to create your own layout. Yeah, you can either pick a template, it says on the left. You guys all went to where it says resume, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now that you're in the resume section and you go to templates, it'll show you different templates that are free that you can use for yourself. I strongly suggest you use one with a picture, right? Whether it's your main focus like this, or whether you do like me and you make the entire thing your picture and then you write over it, which I think is pretty cool. Either way is fine. Just make sure your picture is a high resolution picture, so when you stretch it, it doesn't lose its resolution. Yeah. All right, good. So is everyone up to this part so far? Okay, good. So let's just make pretend we wanted to edit some of this stuff. We just click on it and we start typing what we want to write. So obviously no one here is named Megan Richardson, so we'd say something like Derek Santos, all right? And then underneath it, you can put in, she has her contact information there. You could do that. If you wanted to use my layout, the way I did it, you're gonna have to kind of just go this way. Just stretch out your picture as big as you can. Center it, and then you can, once you have your picture up, you can play with the quality of your picture, which is really cool. You guys can make it black and white. You guys can make the color pop more. You guys can make the color less. You guys can even make the transparency different, so you could blend it out a little bit to make it look like, you know, you're really light in the background. It's pretty cool. You can adjust it here with the color brightness. You can throw filters on it. You guys all know about filters on Instagram. It's the same thing as here. You guys can crop the picture. You can flip the picture if you think you look better sideways, or the other way around. That was weird. Or you guys can go turn in real estate upside down.
Yeah, flipping the real estate. Yeah.
So cool stuff, you guys. If you guys want, you can start with, you know, making your picture right first. If you're gonna go this route, you're gonna have to pick text. So the beautiful thing about text that you're gonna do here is that it has some really nice looking text already made for you. So if I wanted to say, well, you know what, I really like this text here, it's clean, I'd pick it and it overlays it for you. And then once it overlays it for you, you just have to put it in the right place. Once you put it in the right place, you just mess around with it and type whatever you want it to say. Very easy to do. Canva is one of the best tools I've ever found. I'm not a graphic designer, guys, but some of the stuff I've created on here is really, really nice. So what I'm going to do now is, if everyone is at this point where you guys actually know what to do and how to do it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the screen where I showed you guys what you should have on it, okay? And I'll also send everyone here my bio so you guys can have it to so you guys can kind of get some ideas of what to write. And I'll walk around the room too to help you guys. All right, so let me get back to here. I'll send it to you guys, and I'll also okay. Okay, so to give you guys some ideas of what should be on there, here are the things that every bio or resume should have. So we have the title, the about me, the photo, strengths, achievements, reviews, and contact info. If you guys get stuck on anything, whether it's the layout or the information, yes, Ale?
Yeah, I'm trying to like how to
Okay,
like flip it.
sure. What are you trying to do? Which one?
I was
I don't think you're in resumes, are you?
No.
You're in flyer.
I just changed it. I used to have the button to go back.
Oh, no, there is no going back. You just go to this one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, just type in. Oh, here, this is the one you want to use? Okay. So you want to make it bigger?
Not like this layout, like that, like yours.
So you want to make it larger? Are you on I don't think you're on a resume one though, are you? Yeah, let's give you a resume one. Because the dimensions won't be right if you don't do it with the right layout.
Like I said, I can do like portrait, like not yours.
You want to do it sideways?
Yeah, that's what you.
Mine's is not landscape. Mine's is portrait.
Oh, portrait.
Yeah. So upload your picture again. Good. There you go. Now you just have to pick the text you want, and then lay it out wherever you want. Need help, Judy?
Headshots emailed to me.
Okay. You haven't had them sent to you?
Yeah, no.
Can you send Ashley her headshot? You guys have it? Yeah. Towards the end, guys, I'm going to want you guys to, even if you're not finished with it, I'm going to want you guys to share what you've done with your bios. I'm really intrigued to see what you guys came up with. Coming right over, okay? Ashley, we'll send that over to you in a sec. How you guys making out over here? Pretty good? Nice picture, William.
Yeah. What filter do you use? I like it like black.
You like it black and white?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Do you use this one over here?
Yeah, you can use these filters. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like this one is good.
Good.
But then, what is this for? Oh.
You can play around with how much grayscale you want. So if you went with like this one and then you played around with it, you can do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what text do you use?
I like this text personally because I'm more of
It's
a
more-
clean
yeah,
lines,
I like it.
you know,
Yeah, perfect.
Click
so
that
you just got it.
and
Oh,
just
okay.
put it anywhere. The only thing I would do is since you're going black and white on this, I
Change
would
to
use
color.
I would use color on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Like the teal,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, how do you call that color? Like the sky blue? No.
the one we use here is like
Yeah.
teal mint, like
Yeah.
that kind of color.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually create that color. So if you go here, you can pick it when you go to add,
Mm-hmm.
and you can pick any color you want. You can play with the rainbow.
Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Need help, miss? Huh? Oh, sure. I actually sent it. I'm gonna give you guys a bigger view. You want a bigger view, or is this view okay? Because I have the original one if you need it. It's good? If you guys want to go black and white, there's a filter for that too. You don't have to keep a color. Make the lettering pop if you want, or you can keep a color. It's up to you. Whatever you like better.
I'm trying to stretch the picture out.
Yeah.
So like the entire top half.
Do you want to use landscape? Because I think you should use portrait. So what I mean is, when you start a project, because you haven't done much with it right now, so let's just, you would type in resume, and it'll give you the right dimensions for a resume. So then if you wanted to then use your pictures right here, or is that what you wanted to do?
No, I wanted it to like. Hold on, let's go back to the template.
You can go back to this one. Oh wait, no, one of those. I think it was maybe that one. No. What, you wanted to use the sideways one?
No, I wanted something similar, but for this entire thing to be the picture.
Or if you
So
wanted, the thing is your picture wouldn't fit there because your picture, it would only catch like your forehead. You understand? Because your picture is a vertical picture, it's not a horizontal picture. So if you wanted to use a pre-made layout, you'd have to use one that has the ability to be more of a portrait, which would be this, or maybe even this one, or that one has a picture here. This one could possibly be it too. You know, so pick one of these layouts if you don't want the whole thing to be your picture. Make sure it's free though. There's a lot of ones that aren't free. You guys can also create your own customized color. If you guys want to use a color accent, you can create one by hitting the plus button instead of picking the colors they've given you there to pick from. I don't have a what?
You don't have investing in there.
Investing where?
On the about me achievement.
Oh.
I'm trying to like model it.
You want to model? What? I don't have anything about investing in the about me. I mean, I kind of say real estate guru. I say investing up here.
No, I know, but like description of it.
Description of me being an investor in the about me.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that relevant for the reader.
So what would you say if you could put it in there?
If I could put it in there, you could put something like accomplished investor, or seasoned investor, or seasoned real estate investor. What else could I say?
There's a filter of black and white.
Yeah, you can play around with the what's that called? The filter. See, the thing with real estate guys is that we as real estate agents think that we don't need a resume because as a real estate agent you can go and work anywhere. But remember, your clients are hiring you. They don't know you. They're making a decision on you. And if you treat it as a real job and you give them a bio or you give them a resume upon yourself, it shows them that they have the authority to hire anyone they want. And you're giving them your qualifications so they can pick the best agent they can. I guarantee you a lot of agents don't show up to listing presentations with resumes or bios. You know, they might have a little description in their CMA or their listing presentation about themselves, but this is something that is kind of like a precursor to that, something that you kind of open the door with. So make sure you treat, you know, your business as a real business, and I don't want to call it a job, but act as if you were going for a job. If you guys were going to apply for a job, you'd prepare your resume, you'd update it, you make it look nice, you get someone to proofread it. So let's treat our listing appointments the same way, or our client presentations the same way. Does anyone need help? You guys are making good strides? I don't know why I always look at my watch for the time and I never update the time. 10:22. Okay, it's 10:22 right now, guys. I'm gonna give you guys till about, I would say, 10:45, and then I'll check in with you guys to see how you guys are making out.
And with the resume, does culture logo have to be on it, like our advertisement?
If you're advertising yourself as a real estate agent on a resume, you don't have to put the culture logo because it's not a marketing piece. If it was a marketing piece that you were mailing out or that you were going to put on social media, then you have to have your description of your company. If not, you can put whatever information that is directly to you. If anyone needs any culture estate artwork for their stuff, just go to Drive and type in artwork, and the culture estate artwork will auto-populate there for you. You guys can use any of that if you need it for your resume as well, or for your bio. So, since you're not doing anything, do you get time to write when you go to places like this? What do you do?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. How do you fill your alone time, me time?
Actually, it was funny. Because I was away, I kind of got to immerse myself a little bit more, like, family thought, work thought, and I spent a lot of time actually freestyling on the corners, and for all my Uber drivers.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was real fun.
That's awesome. Did you record yourself?
I think my buddy probably
Yeah?
did, yeah.
We'd love to get hands on that, man.
The Uber drivers were like, can't believe this is happening in the car right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fun, and I haven't done that since I was young. Because kind of, with family life, dressed different than I used to.
Sure. It's good to feel like you don't have any.
We had a big crowd too when we were on the beach. That was fun.
When you guys were on the beach?
Yeah.
When you did the concert or prior to the concert?
No, for the show.
Oh, for the show?
Yeah.
How many people were at the attendance in that event?
Well, we were on the beach, and it's hard to gauge because people just kept stopping on the boardwalk and building.
Oh, that's
People
cool.
were actually watching down on us.
Oh, so there were people who were watching, who were spectators, and some people who watched who
We just set
actually
up shop.
attended.
We weren't an official show.
Oh, you guys were in a show. Oh,
We just made it a show.
gotcha.
That's how we do it. We show up in different
Did you talk to the promoters while you guys were there? No?
We just go 200 feet to the left.
So the right crowd was there, so you guys
Yeah,
basically
people
just
all
went.
around, and they were already checking out different things.
Uh-huh.
And
They
assumed
figured you were part of the
Yeah.
show too.
And we all wear the same color t-shirts.
Did anyone from the actual event come up to you guys and say anything? No? You would think that somebody might want to say, you guys say, maybe you guys want
It's
to.
funny, for all these I've ever done, we've never been stopped by anybody. One time I wasn't there, they went to Denver and tried to shoot in the parking lot of the football stadium. So they had that as a background. They got kicked out of there real quick.
Gotcha. That's cool, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you guys are like wedding crashers, but for like shows.
Yeah, we'll just show up. They try to plot it around like festival type stuff.
Uh huh. Cool. And you guys had nice weather this weekend too. You couldn't have asked for better.
I got there Thursday for the first night, set up camp, and then hardcore
Pouring.
thunderstorm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of cool to be laying in the tent and just have the thunder.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, that's like gives you the elements.
Started leaking in, but I had packed an extra tarp and I set it up real nice.
God, that's cool, man. Any funny stories? I'm sure there's a guy's trip has to be a funny story.
Well,
A PG
the
one.
guy I went with was on his second DUI,
Mhm.
so he has to blow into a thing to get his car to start.
Yeah.
He drank so much on Saturday
Mhm.
that we couldn't leave on Sunday.
Oh, he was the driver. Oh my
'Cause
God.
even the level is below legal level. It's
Mhm.
very sensitive. And then I was like,
How is it? It
and
knows
then
it's
you
in
have to
blown.
wait- And then you have to wait an hour every time it doesn't work.
Uh huh.
And then finally I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And then I blew home.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you, someone else could blow in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, every half hour while you're driving,
It asks you to do it
used
again.
To do it again. So even if we got someone to help us,
Why didn't you drive?
I get. Well, he just got his license back, so he wanted to drive.
Oh.
And
Alright.
I was like, you want to put the miles on your car? Cool.
No. What I'm saying is, why didn't you just drive back instead of having him?
But I still have to blow into the thing.
Yeah, that's fine. But at least you guys could have left on time.
But we didn't know it was going to continue to be a problem, so he just was like, all right, another hour went by.
That's funny.
And then finally, I put my foot down and I was like, I just started chugging some waters. And
It-
I'm going to do it.
Is it sensitive to the point where, like, if you blow in it and you just brush your teeth or had some
Yeah.
scope? Yeah?
So like, I went and I ate because I had brushed my teeth and showered,
Mhm.
so I went and I grabbed some food.
Coffee and things like
No,
that.
Actually, caffeine is bad for your blood alcohol.
Oh, is it really? It thins out your
Keeps it
blood.
water.
Gotcha. So a good.
I was looking it up because I was like, well, I drank last night too, so I
Uh-huh.
wanna, but apparently not as much as
You need a good hearty soup.
yeah.
Doesn't bring any Campbell's with you.
I went and got a chicken sandwich.
So did you guys cook for yourselves on the barbecue?
Well,
or?
we started to, but it was so windy
Mm-hmm.
that the pan wasn't staying.
No.
So across the street there was like a bunch of the bay was across the street. So there's all these like seafood restaurants like,
Mhm.
all down the line,
Yeah.
like Lobster Shack, Crab Shack, all this and that.
So you guys ate there. Cool. Did you guys bring it back and then put it on a skillet and take
No,
pictures
he
like?
kept bringing it back home, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat that.
Uh huh.
You know, because we don't. It's not like we have a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's just sitting in the cooler, it made the cooler smell.
Thank you.
But after Derek was talking, I looked back at my phone to see how much I walked. It was 37 miles.
This weekend?
All weekend.
How?
Everywhere we went, we walked. I was in flip flops most of the time. Too.
Oh, I know that hurt your toe, like right between your toes.
No, well, this the slides.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, the slides. Yeah, those are more comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Why? Why'd you guys walk so much? It was
I
part
forgot
of.
how big it was in
Uh-huh.
Ocean City. So I ordered an Uber to go to this bar
Mhm.
that I was at years ago
Mhm.
because I knew it was like the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
But it's actually very far away from where all the action is.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, I think it's right up here. So we just kept walking and walking.
Mhm.
And then I was like, all right. So we hopped on the bus, rode that down, and then we went to the boardwalk and just walked all day.
Damn.
And we stayed out
Sounds like
pretty
fun.
late because all the guys were coming in from all the different cities. So we
Mhm.
were like hanging out and meeting all on the boardwalk. To
That sounds cool. A
grab some
guy's
food.
trip, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. I'm sure you were excited to
There's
get back
probably
home
like
now.
30 of us.
Mhm. That was really cool.
And then we all, and then after we do the show, we all go to eat together.
Mhm. That's nice, man.
Actually, Rain went down.
He was there?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Huh? Like I'm passionate about self-development and I teach it to others. So that's why I put that down. It's okay. You could model.
Hey, when you do the transparency,
Mhm.
if you drop a solid color behind it, it won't light it up. It's only looking lighter because you have white in the background. So
Oh.
you could actually, if you put the mint behind it, you'd actually look more lit.
I would look more minty.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Oh, look at you.
Yeah. To go brighter, you go in the brightness tab.
Gotcha.
Highlights. Bring down your blacks a
Uh
little.
huh. Why don't you take a walk around and see what how people have their layouts and see, give them some tips. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna catch. See if I can get.
So I ended up staying for like an extra hour.
Oh, for an agent?
No, for like once he came in, then other people decided.
You're killing it.
I looked.
Huh?
I looked up Patricia Miller's on Zillow. To find
Ah, that was your picture from high school.
You really changed.
Hey, sweetie, how are you? Good, good. We're working on our bios. So we're creating bios for ourselves. So when we meet clients for the first time or we're prospecting on the telephone,
Okay.
we have something to give to them, and we have something to show them that, you know, kind of tells them what we're about. Do you need a laptop? Do you have one with you?
Oh, I have my own.
You have yours? Okay, we'll bring you up to speed once you're up and running.
Yeah.
You have the Wi-Fi info?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What I do is like I put a little on there, and then we get like 3 or 4 offers, and then hire
Does anyone need help with their layout? Because we have an expert here if anyone needs help with anything.
So the one that's always asking more, sometimes they
I think.
little extra 5.
You don't even zoom on the screen.
You are so
Yeah,
smart.
yeah. Oh, that's true too. Very true.
Hello?
You got the little Fibonacci sequence.
Do I?
Yeah.
That was just done accidentally. If we turn it sideways.
There's these boxes here, so if you do the spiral, it goes right across your eyes.
Oh, true.
So you can do leading in this way.
Oh.
And all those. It's on the first scan when people look at something real quick.
Look at that. Thank you. Guys, we have another 10 to 13 minutes. If anyone needs help, please don't be scared to ask.
And I know you're on a high level, so your resume is not so important.
Mm-hmm.
You should really have it on one page.
What's that? This?
The resume.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to condense it down.
It's you're not going to be going to an employer, but
Mm-hmm.
it's annoying for an employer to get a multi-page print that they want to print it out, throw it in a folder.
Yeah.
and be done.
No, you're right about that. But I did condense it to 2, and it's it used to be
I had
3.
a guy when I got laid off.
Uh-huh.
One of the guys was real upset, and he was like, "Can you please give me your resume? I want to make sure that it's good enough for you to get a job."
Mhm.
And he was like, "I want to put a reference on for you and all that."
Yeah.
And he took out so much stuff that I thought was important,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like,
It's filler.
unnecessary.
It's filler. Yeah.
He was like, at this point, you know, I had my high school, and he was like, high school is so long ago, get it off. He was like, college, put it on the bottom. He's like, that's even becoming less important for
Uh-huh.
you because you've already made it.
Do you want to see a
through-
professional
through
experience?
levels. Like,
Oh, you're right.
obviously, you've already went to school, so he was like, take it out as assumed at that point by the positions you held.
Yeah. Nice. I'll definitely have to update this. This has kind of been the one I've been
Took out, I think, my
tracking with.
volunteer work.
You took out your volunteer work too? Yeah. Damn. Did they let you leave your name at least?
Yeah. He actually took off my address though.
Your
So, you know,
address?
I had the whole
Yeah.
typical. And he was
Yeah.
like, nope.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that people look at addresses and they kind of make an assessment about that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Also, their email addresses.
Yeah.
If their email addresses says like chunkylover@aol.com,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Homer Simpson's,
Yeah.
probably won't get a job.
It's, it's best just to start a Gmail if you don't have one.
Yeah. Something cool.
Yeah. But yeah, he took off work experience that I thought was great. He goes, Mike, if you're doing this on this job, why do you need to say the first job here? And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's
redundant.
relevant now. You know, you've worked up
Yeah.
past that. I should call him. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years.
That's your guy?
Mm.
When are we doing that guy? Is his name Justin? No, Derek.
We're tended for Thursday.
This Thursday?
Mhm.
All right, so I got to brush up on him.
And
And I think on the 26th, which is a
He's
Wednesday,
got,
we got.
we got Shelly,
When is that?
new one-ish.
When?
One.
Today?
No, Wednesday,
Wednesday. Okay.
I think. Yeah, 26th, and then we come back, and then at 4:30 is.
His guy. His guy we have to go to though. I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
And then
Because it was going to be more aesthetically pleasing with
trying
it.
to book this, the councilman called me when I was camping. I got
Oh,
the service.
Got it.
But he's excited. I'm excited about him. Got a couple submissions for the goals.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Derek, man. Derek's sticking with it. Has she done hers yet? No. We're gonna have to tie her down today. Not let her on until you do your goal, your hashtag goal. Yeah. Oh, we're waiting on this. All right, today.
I gave you the instructions. I never told you. You sent back question mark. Not even a question.
You sent back a question
Yeah.
mark to Elizabeth.
A poop emoji. You guys are funny.
That should be your bio. Yeah. Says it
I had someone curse me out the other day in nothing but emojis. I was gonna emoji them back. It was someone I didn't know.
I used to do that to my wife.
It's not easy, right? But it's important to do because it's gonna say a lot about you. Well, that's why you have him. Can you take a look at what she's doing? Because she has, sometimes she's pretty rough with that stuff.
Well, it looks great. I mean, sizes of things on her, but I like. Is that how you want your face to be? It's one eye.
Oh, you Illuminati? I didn't know about it?
Trying to move this.
Betty Walk over here.
Trying to move it. I don't have that, so I think the edge of this will be fine. It's so big.
I love it.
That's scribbling here. My cheeks look bigger than they do in person.
No one looks at that and says that except for you, though.
That's true. We're our own worst critics.
Can I cut my hair? I hate that picture.
That's nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I like how
Would
simple
you
it
use
is.
a color though?
Hmm?
Are you using a color?
It's actually pretty good in style right now. Matches your dress.
Bro, you want to get a laugh? So we just got a Google Voice number for the Harmony Project, and some kid starts randomly texting us, and then he just carries on and on and on. I'm trying to get him to stop texting us. You gotta read this, and then I stopped him dead in his tracks, and he just never texts back. Just you gotta read from the beginning. That's pretty funny. Ed was cracking up when he read it.
I didn't even know.
After that, it was over.
That's
He gave up after that. He was like, you know what? I don't think these are my friends.
a couple months ago, I got a text, and then all it was, yo, what did they say?
Mhm.
And I was like, what do you think they said? I have no idea who this
Mhm.
is. And then he was like, I bet you they laughed. And I was like, they laughed. And he's like, but what did the teacher? So I started to realize it was a high
Yeah.
school kid.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, the teacher was pretty pissed.
Mhm.
Tina, like, was like, who's that cute kid?
Mhm.
Like, I just made it up. And he was like, who's Tina? I was like, Tina, what I just made up a name.
Mhm.
I was like, I don't know, she's in my class.
Mhm.
You don't know her?
Mhm.
He was like, no, no. He was like, send me a picture. And like, so I had him go in. And I was like, yeah, but I'd better, I would go apologize to the teacher. I think she was gonna go to the principal.
Mhm.
And then,
Wow.
And then he kept trying to call me to talk to me, and I was like, can't talk. I'm in the middle of the cafeteria. Like,
That's pretty funny.
I think for
Derek-
like 2 days.
Derek and Carlos had someone on the hook the other day by text for a listening appointment, and the guy made them go to the house for the listening appointment, and it was never the owner of the house. It was just some random guy who
Oh,
kept
yeah.
playing along.
Yeah.
So then Carlos shows up, and no one was there, so he starts leaving, and then he texts the guy like, hey, I was there. He's like, come back, or no, Carlos said I can come back. He's like, and then what did he say? Sorry, I was pooping or something?
Yeah, the guy was like, nah, don't come back. And Carlos was like, why? He's like, why not? And he was like, oh, because I'm taking a poop.
So then they realized it wasn't the guy, it wasn't the owner. Pretty funny.
I used to just say wrong number, but now
You
Why
play
not?
around with them.
you
How-
like Aziz Ansari
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and his newest
He has that Netflix.
yeah,
He's like the number one show
Buried
on
Alive, I
Netflix.
think it's called.
Something.
And he talks about
Mhm.
And he's like, I've never done it. I just want to know what it felt like. So I got this girl's number from a friend of mine, and I went to Google, downloaded a photo. he's like, I was like, hey yo, we hooked up in the club a couple months ago, and I just thought I'd hit you up.
That's
She's
hilarious.
like, who is this? And he's like, we fell in love. You remember?
That's hilarious. You just never know nowadays. All right, guys, we have like 3 minutes left. Not to say you have to be completely done, but that's when we're gonna.
Where do you see Joelle's? It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
She's like, I'm not good.
She's very
I
critical.
know I'm taking this way too seriously.
It's not.
I'm literally sweating.
It's not a competition. You take everything as a competition. I am be judging the best one, guys. If you guys are not interesting, you lose.
First place. Cadillac
It's
Eldorado.
Dale.
Second place. Culture State Market.
A used one.
Third place.
You're fired.
Gotta do another skip.
I was thinking about that. We still got to do that DeLorean one. Next time I catch that DeLorean guy outside.
I love you, man. You could hire a DeLorean at any time from any state.
Yeah, but there's a guy that comes here all the time. We don't even have to ask him permission. Probably we could probably just shoot it
I
outside
have
of
a
his
funny
car.
Video of me with a DeLorean.
Yeah.
I gotta find it. I was doing this thing for a while where I would just get mad at people.
Mhm.
Like I would walk away, like, look at this guy.
Mhm.
Who does he think he is?
Mhm.
Traveling through time. But you see I Love You, Man? There's a whole open house scene.
Yeah, I saw Love You, Man. What movie is that?
That's,
Is that the guys from The Hangover?
It's Paul Rudd and
Sounds familiar.
the other guy from where he goes to Hawaii and
Let me see.
there's a whole scene where the guy describes everybody at the open house.
I might not have. Sounds like something I need to watch. But I know the characters. I see what you're saying. Paul Rudd, John Siegel, Jason Siegel.
Yeah, Siegel, yeah. It's great. Like Siegel's like this no cares in the world guy.
Uh-huh.
Rudd is cares about everything.
Uh-huh.
And they just randomly do it.
Yeah, sure.
God, I just want to see it like.
Close up.
Throw it on the big screen.
No,
How big your face
Actually,
look
no.
on the big screen?
You don't use it?
no, because you're not gonna disconnect it.
Oh, I'm just gonna do it.
Okay.
You want to see yours how it looks?
Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. I like that.
you're my boss. You have to see that.
I think it looks great. Does anyone have one that they're almost complete? They wouldn't mind sharing? You do? Ah, Patty, a brave soul. Give you guys about another minute or so, and then we'll have Patty come and show us her bio.
What's your job? Queen of Sass.
Queen of Sass.
How about this? Too simple.
Oh, you're like saying like a phrase.
Yeah.
Guys, you never know what you're going to use this bio for. Right now you're thinking you might use it for, real estate sales. Maybe one day you'll be given the opportunity to, speak to kids, or maybe to be interviewed for a newspaper. They want a bio on you, like anything. You just never know. But tell you what, though, it's better to have one and not need it than try to put one together at the last minute and it looks like junk. It's good that you guys are taking the time today. And not that this is going to be your final draft. And what we're going to do today is we're going to see some of your bios. That way you guys can get ideas and inspirations from other people.
But you should think about it. Like, you know,
So Patty, I'll have you come up first and just share with yours what you have so far. Joelle, we need to get T-shirts like this. We need to get T-shirts like
You
this.
know, every day he always
Bridget
says
got it for
something,
me.
you know?
I'm just giving you
This
ideas.
guy.
Just giving you ideas. Okay.
I don't know if it connects. into
I
that.
don't know. Let me see what you
Oh
got.
wait, maybe up there.
USB. You have a USB. Actually, it does. Does it?
I don't know, it's not showing up on the screen.
Hold on. Oh no, this is something different. You have an adapter to this?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah, can I see it?
I was gonna tell you, they could just send it to you right now.
Oh wait, adapter how? Yeah, you can just share it with me.
Okay.
If that's if his adapter doesn't work, but
Doesn't like your email.
you must confirm your account before sharing a design. Okay, so let me cancel this. I think it's gonna be good.
Who's coming?
It's not.
There's USB.
Yeah, it's USB.
There's no HDMI, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You plugged it in here?
Oh wow, you really do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Who? Oh yeah, you can tell them to come down. They can set up whatever they have, and I think they might have some stuff in here. All right, and then I will be with them in a sec.
I'm really funny in my own mind. Yeah, that's what she. I am funny.
Let's see if we can get it. Yep, we got it.
Now it doesn't go to the screen.
Yeah, so you know what? I think it's better for me to do it on my computer.
Everybody should email it to.
Yeah, that way you can see it on TV too. Hey, you guys can have a seat anywhere you see an open.
Thanks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, share this.
You did already. Actually, no, email it to me because I just downloaded it for you as a PNG. So just email it to me now. No, not there. It's not going to work because you haven't confirmed your account yet. So just,
Confirm it, but okay.
I said you didn't. So just send me a regular email with an attachment. Guys, whoever's willing to share their bio with us, and I hope we have a good handful of people, just download it and email it to me now so I can have it ready for when you guys come up. There you go. Perfect. Nice. All right, I'll open it up here. Just put your computer there if you want for a sec. Okay. So guys, do you see Patty's bio on the screen now? Come on, Patty, you could tell us what you did. Okay. So far what she has looks really nice to me. It looks very visually stimulating. I would say that the only thing that I'd probably make a little bit of a change is with where it says Miller. It's getting a little drowned out with the color that is dark in the background, and the lettering is dark as well. So maybe I'd find a different place for that. But I love the fact that she has a really nice photo in there. She's smiling. She has her bio underneath it. She's working on her reviews to the right. I would just add maybe a little bit more content in there as far as like the other things, the other pieces, and I'm sure you're not done with it yet, but the other pieces that I explained to you guys earlier. But so far, I love where you're going with it. I love the fact that you have a strip at the bottom. I'd use white lettering over that strip because that's really hard to read as well. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think so far? I need some. She needs some critique. Obviously from you, because you.
Actually, I can't read your last name,
Okay.
and obviously the A and the G and agent.
Yeah.
There's a couple things you could put a box behind it.
Yeah, that would work really well.
Change the font color, and the white and the bottom would be nice too.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a beautiful picture.
Hmm.
Clean font on all the other stuff. It looks like a lot of text. It's like,
Down there?
Yeah, it looked like the bio
Okay.
because it's a small font and looks like a lot of words.
Okay.
So it might be intimidating to someone who I don't know if I want to read the whole thing.
Gotcha.
I haven't read it, but a lot of times people write things and they've actually said things twice and not even realized it. So
And some
it's
words
really
can be.
nice. It's a nice, clean. It's nice and clean and sharp.
Yeah.
I like how the letters are hanging out.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's outside the box, literally.
Yeah. He brought up a good point. You can actually build a box under it and then put the lettering over it, and that would give it a nice, cool look too. Kind of like what we did with mine,
You can even make it all the way across, so real estate agent and Patricia Miller are all in.
like a rectangle. Yeah. Yeah,
But
those
then
are good
you don't
ideas.
wanna block your face either, so.
That's their best
Just
feature.
something to make it pop. Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to say about Patty's bio? What do you guys good, bad? What are you guys getting from it? What do you guys think could be fixed? Yes, Gina?
Is it better to use realtor than real estate agent?
It's up to you. That's your decision. Really, whatever you like to use better. You know, we can always call ourselves real estate agents, being realtors, but we can't call ourselves realtors if we're not realtors. So it really depends on what you guys want to call yourselves. Real estate professional sometimes sounds really nice.
Thought about that.
Mm-hmm. Good. I like it so far. It's just
Sometimes an outline around the letters helps too.
Okay.
So you didn't.
Patty, invert it. Tell me who you are first.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
What do you mean by that? Because I'm pretty
I think
confused.
she means like put the picture down.
No, 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 no. You're
Oh.
personal. Halfway down to tell me about what makes you you.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I like to find out who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to work with you? I love some of the. Sorry, it's hard to see because I'm too far back.
So you mean change the wording on the bio to the
Invert
bottom?
it, yeah.
So
You've got some
so-
amazing, unique traits that I would say, wow, I can connect with her.
Mm-hmm.
I would lead with that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be scared to also use this real estate up here, like next to you, if you want to write stuff about you, kind of like what we did with mine,
Mm-hmm.
where I can pull up.
It's like that column you have on the right, with the text, who you are.
Yeah, so don't be scared to write on the sides of yourself as well, and then don't forget to also like give yourself that title, like that. Or you gave yourself a title. Make it also where you have your expertise showing your. I feel like you can use a lot of this space here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe coming down some. Make it more. It's more balanced. I feel like all the lettering, all of your text is down here,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be spread out. Just because your picture is big doesn't mean you can't use some of that space too. As long as you don't put it right over your face.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be right. But yes,
I would say that the very top we have probably, I don't know, quarter of an inch from between the T and the top of the whole document. At the bottom, we have like 4 inches of empty space.
she hasn't finished
I'm
that.
still working
She's
on
still
it.
working.
What I was getting at,
Yeah.
if you don't have anything to add, then I would just drop it down so it's equal and have Patricia Miller stand out at the top without being part of your face, okay? And just drop it down like a little bit, 2 inches or something.
Yeah.
I think Patricia Miller at the top and make it more even.
Good. Yeah, we just started about 30 minutes ago, so some of these are just preliminary, and we're just giving each other reviews to see where they're going to be going. But you did a great job, Patty. Thank you for volunteering. Who else sent me their bio? I need volunteers, guys. If not, Joy's going to pull out the randomizer. You don't want that?
I didn't send it to you, but if you want, you could just.
Yeah, I think you might be able to plug into mine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to just email it to you?
You may not be able to because she has a newer style Mac. Yeah, send it to me. Yeah. She has the lightning bolt, not the thunderbolt.
I'm fancy.
You are.
Kind of company changes their things all the time.
Guys, please send me your bios. I'd love to see what you guys are doing with them. Don't be shy.
Now, that's something just real quick. I'm gonna go home and actually work on my computer graphic design laptop and perfect it,
Yeah, I'm sure.
make it a little bit more better. Just
Canva's like a quick fix if you don't have a full-blown Photoshop suite. It's just something that you can work with. There we go. You want to come up here and tell us about this?
sure.
Thank you. tell us what you got here, and then
So, I am Jennifer Jenna. Learn about me. I'm a number one mom. Yes, I am. Licensed real estate agent, multifaceted and computer graphic designing, property management / leasing agent with top-notch customer service skills along with strong work ethic. Ambitious and goal-oriented in real estate with super organization skills. The ability to organize and prioritize while multitasking, adjusting to changes, priorities in the fast-paced work environment while maintaining complete blah, 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 blah.
confidentiality.
Confidentiality, there you go. I'm like trying to read, I'm like, everything, I don't think I should use red. My skills, Microsoft Office Suite, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Quark, software, certified in federal fair housing and beyond leasing, and best practice connecting with your prospects, leasing A to Z for property management. Yeah.
Good. All right. I think one of the comments we're gonna say is, I think you picked up on it, is the fact that it's the lettering
In
color.
red, yeah.
Yeah. So you may need, like Mike said, you may need boxes because you have a dark and a light all in the same picture, which is a
Yeah.
light background and a dark suit.
And then the dark suit.
So you're gonna have to kind of figure out what you can use as a background for your text, where it could be red in either. Go ahead,
You
Mike.
could also, if you made your picture smaller, and to the left, you could face all of your information, and your paragraphs are a bit unorganized as far as their shapes. So you would make it so that like a newspaper does it all straight, so you can have it all nice, and you'd be facing all your information, and it would all be white background. You wouldn't just be changing.
Okay.
All right, now I'm on white. Now I'm on black, because different colors look good on both of those.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I want to
yeah.
build it in Quark, because I'm like,
Yeah.
this was like,
It was
And the
difficult for you.
font,
not so much difficult, but I know with Quark it would be more sleek.
Yeah, that's what you want to go
Yeah.
for. Clean.
The font is not so sleek to me. If I had to give an opinion, it's almost like too fun-ish, like Goulash.
Play with different.
Man, I need my other
Yeah.
laptop. I'm like a big boy.
Yeah. Play with different fonts.
Yeah,
I
no,
would say.
absolutely.
Like a sans font, without all the flares on them. Nice straight letters.
Yeah. The only thing I would say too is that your qualities seem to be run on sentences. If you can make every one of your qualities its own sentence or its own piece, yeah, I think you would get a lot further, because the first sentence reads, number one mom, licensed real estate agent, multifaceted. So to me, I would be like, what does that, I mean, is that like one category or is that like different things? So obviously I know, but as someone who doesn't know, like, you would want kind of those in its own place.
Okay.
And some of these things you don't have to actually spell out as much, like along with a strong work ethic, because that is more of like that's more of kind of like explaining your about me, your bio, and this section should really be more like pinpoints, highlights of things that you are. Real estate agent, number one mom.
Okay.
Bullet
Gotcha.
Bullet point.
Yeah, like a bullet point,
Okay.
not so much like a bullet point and a sentence.
Okay.
So just go with bullet points here and go with sentences in your bio or your about me. But other than that, I mean, I like.
Also,
Mhm.
I think your skills are just a bonus to your package. I
Mhm.
don't think you have to list like Outlook and all of
The
that.
actual, all the skills.
Yeah, like I think your professionalism in your character, like you already know that. Like I don't think you need to sell that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and because what's it doing? It's adding more words.
Yeah.
Right. And we
Okay.
want people to want.
God bless you.
Yeah.
What he was saying, when you get a long thing, you read the first
Yeah.
and last. And like, if that was the only thing they read, I don't know if they would want to read more.
Okay.
If that was the first thing they looked
Sure.
at.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
all these are industry specific. So if your client is not a graphic designer or has that kind of a background, they're not going to know what these things mean. So I would say something along the lines of a master graphic designer.
Okay.
And that would encumber all these things that you're saying here, and it give you more opportunity to write the other things about Jen that may be more on the human side, not
Okay.
so much on the personal side.
Okay.
But
It's
I
the
like
resume
I
material,
like it though.
right?
Yeah.
So gotta find the difference.
I like your picture because it makes you feel like you're very confident and strong. So I can
Well, I
definitely.
am.
Yeah, no, you are. But they don't know you, but when they see this, they're like, "Oh, this person seems very comfortable." So I like that.
All right.
Go check?
I'll send you my new one
Good.
tonight.
Yeah, good. As long see, I love what we're doing here. We're actually we're taking the time to create something that's going to be it's going to be a game changer for you guys because you're going to need this every day in real estate. You need this. So it's good that you guys are taking the time to do it now. We're giving each other critique. We're not being harsh on anyone. We're just trying to make sure that you guys have the best one out there. Anyone have anything to add or take away? Sorry, Mike?
Number you have up there for number 1 month.
You put number and number.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, got it. Good point.
So bullet points, and then just take away the skills.
Yeah, I would take the word number out and use the number.
Okay.
The actual thing.
All right.
Cool. Anyone else?
Awesome.
Good. Thank you for coming and sharing. Appreciate you, Sue. Esther, send me one.
Oh, thank you.
All right, this will be the last one we do. Nice, girl. All right, get up here. Tell us what you did. This is very clean. I like it. Yeah, it's very,
I was going for simple, classic, and
yeah.
high grade. Yeah, so pretty much I kind of put my personality into it because I'm like, I'm a boss, at the same time I like to be soft and I love pink. So my motto and my tagline for pretty much like my brand is real estate with a heart. And that's what I was hoping to kind of put out there, like, okay, this girl's about business, but she's also relatable in a sense. So I put serving the needs of my clients as my top priority. And as an up-and-coming realtor, as there's so I've spoken third person, and I just realized that it was like first person and then third person, which is okay.
You'll clean that up.
Yeah. So I wrote, as an up-and-coming realtor, Esther's approach to real estate is service and benefits. By constantly providing top-notch service, ensuring the needs of her clients are met, Esther has been able to sell her clients' home for over asking price while simultaneously helping her buyers find the right home. The philosophy behind the drive is applied knowledge is power. Not only does she ensure her clients reach their goal of either buying or selling their home, but Esther takes the time out to educate her clients so they get the full spectrum of what occurs in the real estate transaction. And all my titles are in here. Yeah.
I like it. What would you say about this one, Mike?
Okay. There's a couple combinations. I don't know if you want to do one or a couple, but one. You know how you had hello in the big box on news? Hello?
Yeah.
I think real estate with a heart should be your whole topic, like big.
Yeah, don't hide the fact that
Yeah,
that's
like,
your
that's
thing.
your thing. Make it your thing.
Okay.
All right? You're like, right now this looks like you just passed away.
That is so true. It's like a memorial. Yo, it's true. I couldn't put my finger on it, but now it's true. Cheer it up. You gotta cheer it up. You gotta cheer it up.
I just noticed.
Like, it looks like
R.I.P.
the date of like when you were born.
Okay, so let's take this off.
Listen.
And it's only because you made it so clean.
Yeah,
that, like,
respectful,
like,
clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's no like you're real estate with a heart. Like make that real big cross, and I might even make the picture big enough that goes end to end.
So I try to do that, but then it cuts off. So it starts to cut off.
Yeah, we can help you with that.
Yeah, you make it bigger and you come up on your torso a bit. But I don't think you need to go down. I like where you have it with all the white underneath. But the more graphic there, it's going to punctuate it more. But yeah, I think real estate with heart needs to be the title.
Yeah.
Up top, boom, above your head. And then you can put your name underneath like that.
Would you be opposed to throwing up some reviews on there somewhere?
Oh, me?
No, yeah, you. I like the fact that you have your about me at the bottom, but I feel like you should have also what other people say about you somewhere in there because you're applying for something that people usually want to be vetted.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it in terms of layout because I really do love simplicity and I like the elements of simplicity. So it's like, how do I structure it?
Well, in my opinion, if you allow me, and Mike, maybe you could correct me, I'd probably shift the picture over a bit and make another box here, and right within the box, in the way a newspaper is written, in downward form, That way you can have a simplistic look here and a simplistic look down here, but at least you're able to
So like a reverted L.
just like no, well, kind of, but I mean, you would create a box that looks something like this, and down, and then you'd find a way to write 3.
A box,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You'd find 3 little reviews to put on there.
Creating a box.
Yeah, in pink as a background. That way it matches your scheme, and then you use white lettering inside the box. That way you can express it
And
to
use
them.
the white under content.
Yeah, use the white across the bottom too.
It's a nice contrast, like a yin yang.
Mhm.
Just,
Yeah.
White.
Definitely like it though, and I knew I recognized it somewhere when I saw it, but I just couldn't.
I just want to give it like a rose.
Keep your roses. You got 100 more years left.
Poor girl.
Wait, is that all the way? What's up all the way up top? Is that full screen? Okay. Yeah.
Maybe on top. Real estate with a heart.
Yeah, real estate with a heart.
On the
That's
top.
Like that's the. Look at some
Yeah.
magazine. Not the cover. Look at the first pages of articles.
Yeah.
Right. They always do the words real nice, like whatever the article's about, and that's what that should look like.
Yeah, don't even be scared to actually use a physical silhouette of a heart, and then write heart in it if you wanted to. Maybe a little bit too much, but
Not simple enough for her.
not simple enough. Yeah,
Plain and simple, yeah.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Cool. I like
You
it.
realize it's the bird, did you?
It is.
Yeah.
It's tree sap.
I noticed when I said that. I look good bird did it.
That's good. I heard that's good luck. I don't know about you.
But yeah.
I heard it's,
Point to it, just write good luck.
Put a heart around it.
I like it done. Great job. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, Esther. Yes? Yes. Send me your. Oh, yes, you have
I
a
just have a
comment?
comment for Esther's.
Hmm?
Yeah.
The paragraph's written as if you're interviewed by somebody from the New York Times.
Oh.
Okay, like third person.
Uh-huh.
But the sentence above it,
Yeah.
that needs to be third person as well.
Yeah, I realized that when I stood up there. I was like, oh wait, I have 2 different.
And you have one typo in the last sentence. Well, 2 typos. Real estate should be separated, and you have transaction.
Yeah.
You ransacked them.
Transactions.
What's up there, Gage?
Transactions and
Oh, I thought you
obituary.
did. Someone else had your article. You send me it? It's on our account? Okay.
I just wanted to.
We're looking at Joel.
Oh, wow. You've grown leaps and bounds.
Tables are
Yeah.
Okay.
when you point it out, no one will ignore it.
Good. So, Mike, what do you think?
I love this one.
This one's a good one, right?
I don't like the bottom. I hate
Well, you figure
the
out.
cells.
What, this thing?
Yeah, like I just put phone.
You don't like the cell?
Could
You don't have to have a cell phone on there, you know that, right?
Icon of a handset. Telephone.
Oh, you don't like the word cell? Or you don't like having a phone number?
I was gonna change it, but I was like, I'm gonna just.
You don't like having a phone number or the
No,
word
just
cell?
The word cell.
Oh, then you, yeah, the icon of a phone. He's a great idea. And I would probably, to me, there's too much dark down here, so I'd probably do a box, a light box, and have the contact information over it, just to give us some balance.
The contact could be in a gold box with that.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
But not all the way across. I like how your picture takes
Yeah.
it to the side.
I like how it's clean and concise. I like the fact you have a big picture. It's visually it looks like something somebody would want to look at. So I like the layout. Your name at the top is great. What do you guys think?
Would you give like a slogan?
I like it.
I was
I
gonna
know
call
it.
it Get to Know Me or something.
Yeah. The only thing I suggest, guys, Jolie, with this is, again, I gave you guys in our presentation today. I gave you guys some things that you should be looking at. So, does she have her title? Let's look at her title. Okay, you don't have a title, so work on putting a title on it. Do you have an About Me section? I think you do. About Me, yes you do. You have an expertise and you have achievement. You have a photo. Do you have your strengths outlined in there? Okay, and your contact info is in there. So you're missing just a couple critical parts of your bio, but I actually really like your bio. I like where you're going with it, and I like the fact that you're comfortable enough. Believe it or not, guys, the fact that you're willing to make your photo a large piece of the bio says a lot about your personality. It says a lot about how confident you are and shows people obviously that you've taken the time to get a nice picture taken of yourself. So I like this. I like this one. Does anyone have anything to add to Joelle's to give her some critique, some opinions?
I would just make the font bigger, the print bigger.
The print
Yeah,
bigger in
I
here.
tried, and then like it kept cutting off. So.
Yeah, it's actually difficult to read on screen, but actually I'm looking at it in person, and it's not that bad when you have it in front of you. But yeah, on here it looks a little bit small. But overall, pretty good. Why did you pick the gold color? Is that a favorite color of yours?
No, it was just one of the layouts.
Oh, one of the layouts? Okay, you could always change that if you don't want that to be the color. You could just click on it and
Just like you said, it matches my outfit. So.
you can go and pick any color you want. Cool. All right, great. All right, so now, guys, this has been who got value out of this mastermind today? It was good, right? I wanted to give you guys something that you would take away with you. I know I could talk to you guys for hours, but let's actually have you guys do it in person. Now what I want to do, guys, is I want to give the stage to our one and only Patricia Miller, who was so brave to be the first one to show her bio. She's going to talk to us today about her mastermind. She looks like a ghost now, right? This is like an invisible. No, we have Esther with the Esther with the R.I.P. You know, the late great Patricia Miller. Let's mic you up. You have a lapel I can clip that there. You have a pocket you can put this
Yes.
clip into? Okay, great. Awesome. I'm excited to hear. So guys, let me make a proper introduction. I apologize. For those of you who don't know Patty, she is John Miller's wife. For those of you who don't know who John Miller is, he's one of my best. Thanks for it. I'm sure you'll appreciate that. He's one of my childhood friends and one of my best friends. He's a stand-up guy, the type of person who'll get the shirt off his back. But this isn't about him, it's about Patty. But Patty is obviously the same type of person. If not, they wouldn't have eloped and married. Now that I was in her wedding and I forgot that they were married.
As he introduced
so
everybody as John's fiance.
Yeah, I was so used to John never being married. So I always
Finally locked him down.
She locked him down. So she's an incredible person, and she's now showing us what she can do in real estate. And I love the fact that she's very ambitious. She holds down 2 jobs and she holds down a household. So I'm really excited to let her explain to you guys more about herself and where she's planning on going with her career.
Thanks, Lou. So a little background about me. I was born and raised in Elizabeth. I've lived in like a 5-mile square radius my entire life. I live in Hillside now with my husband and my mother-in-law and my beautiful, amazingly smart 17-year-old stepdaughter. I know most people don't have it easy when they have teenage stepchildren, but luckily she's pretty good. So I've done a lot in my life. I like to keep myself busy. I like to have multiple things to do at once because one thing just doesn't keep me grounded enough for myself. When I was younger, I worked as a lifeguard and swim instructor for 16 years, something like that. At the same time, I became an EMT, and I volunteered as an EMT for 10 years. With that, I ended up going to school to become a nurse, and I decided that I liked dropping patients off at the ER better than being the person in the ER receiving them. So I ended up dropping out of college for that. I went through my quarter-life crisis of not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, and I ended up in cosmetology school. I've always just kind of been in industries where I'm helping somebody. I'm teaching somebody how to learn how to swim, or I'm teaching them CPR, or now I'm doing their hair. And I mean, I'm also like a little bit of a therapist. Thank you. A little bit of a therapist with a lot of my clients. I've been doing hair now for 7 years, and the last couple of years have been a little bit rough for me. I lost my father almost 3 years ago. We went through, me and my husband went through a difficult time, and he really honestly was the best thing that could have ever come into my life and stood by me through everything. We ended up getting married in the hospital 3 months before our wedding because my father stopped responding to chemo. So it was, that was the most important thing to him, was to give me away. So my husband, didn't even flinch and automatically said, "Yep, let's do it. Let's get it done." So he was great through that. He was great through my whole process of me not really wanting to go back to work afterwards. So it's the last couple of years were a little bit of a struggle, and I went through a whirlwind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And it came down to him leaving the real estate industry and me coming into the real estate industry. And it was honestly just, Culture Estate was a no-brainer for me. It didn't even come up for me even to go to another real estate agency. I mean, Lou, like he said, he's been friends with my husband forever, and I've watched Culture Estate grow from the beginning all the way up until what it's become now. So for me, it was, I wanted to get in on the bandwagon and be part of it and help Lou grow his business even further and grow my career even bigger and become more of something than just sitting behind a chair doing blowouts all day. Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I'd eventually like to get to a point in my life where I can have a career that I can also have a family and be a wife and be a mother and be at home to take care of my things. And I've never been a 9-to-5 type of girl. I've never, ever had a job that's been 9 to 5. It's just not for me. I like to bounce around all over the place. And now here I am. I'm 3 months in. I was under contract on my first sale, but unfortunately that fell through this week. So now we were out again yesterday searching for newer homes, which we luckily found one that's not much different than what we just fell through on. But it's been a struggle. It's not definitely not an easy road. I'd say out of all of my careers, this is definitely probably the hardest. There's been tears and anxiety, but now that I'm like 3 months in and after I've gone through everything and everybody that's helped, Joelle has been a huge help. Bridget has been a huge help. I've annoyed the life out of them. But I'm getting there, and I've learned how to calm down and understand things better, and it's definitely a lot easier now than it was 2 months ago.
And you have a listing.
And I have a listing, yes. So we had our first open house for that yesterday, which actually went very well. We have 3 people that said they want to put in offers, and I should be expecting an offer in the next day or 2 from them. But other than that, any questions?
Yes, of course. Sorry, back in the room. You guys can go first.
Are you still cutting right now?
I am. I'm part-time at the salon. I work at a salon in Maplewood called Stained Color, although we are revamping and changing the name to now Victory Salon. There's a whole other story behind that. So cutting is not necessarily my favorite thing. I do love color. It gives me so many more different options than cutting does. It's fun. I like it. It helps my creative side. I still love it. It's not something that I love to do 5 days a week, which is why like I said, I like to do multiple things all the time. I'm there 3 days a week. So it's, I keep the hustle going.
What crazy colors have you done aside from that's not a crazy color though.
On me?
Yeah.
I've gone pink, which Rob is not, or John, Rob, whatever you guys know my husband as. We love to confuse people. I go by Trish, Patricia, Patty. He goes by John and Robert. Rob's not much, he's not much into the crazy colors, so I try to not do it too much, but I love it. I love changing my hair to different colors. And then after a week I want it out. But I've done pink. I've gone like hot pink before. I usually do like a little nice color underneath for like whatever holiday it is. So like St. Patrick's Day this year, I did green underneath. But I've been brunette. I tried redhead this year. That lasted 3 days before I was like, get this out of my hair now.
Have you ever burnt your hair? Because you have really nice hair.
Oh yeah. So these were not created, like my front pieces, they weren't meant to be that short. This is grown out finally. I burnt it off a cut like 6 months ago up to here. Yeah, I had little tiny bangs that I had to cover over. It wasn't fun. You definitely learn how to play with things, and you're, you know, in the hair industry, you're your best model. So
I'll definitely talk about hair later. I'm just burnt.
absolutely, I got you. Any other questions?
I know you said there was a lot of struggle and learning curve in your first 3 months of the industry, but
Oh, yes.
what was your most like wow rewarding moment that you've had so far?
I mean, definitely it was when we finally found, because my clients that I've been working with, they're a longtime family friend of my husband's, and they're, I hope they're not watching this, they're not the easiest people to deal with. And it was a struggle like the first couple of months, or the first couple of weeks of dealing with them was literally pulling, like, crying to my husband, like, why did you ask me to help them? And when we finally got to a point where we were both on an understanding of if this is what you want, this is what we need to get to. And we found that house, and we finally put in an offer that, you know, we had put in an offer that we got outbid on twice. So finally, when we had gotten to our third offer and it got accepted, and like we were under contract and everything was going great, it was an amazing feeling, and I calmed myself down. And then the appraisal came back, and that didn't work so well. So here we are at square one again. But this time around, I got it a little bit more under my belt. I understand where I'm going with this now. So yes, I'm learning. I am learning.
Do they want to reduce the price with the appraisal?
Nope, they did not want to reduce the price.
Oh, wow.
They were willing to reduce it a little bit if my buyers could come up with more cash, but they're first-time home buyers and they don't have the cash, so they did not want to. Even though all of the houses that surround them sold for the price of the appraisal, they don't want to take the fact that it's not going to come down in price. So
They'll eventually come down.
eventually, yes, when they realize that their house is sitting on the market forever. But it is what it is. So on to the next.
I have a question.
Sure.
So when you first came to Culture, John had mentioned to me, hey, do you have any kind of like secretarial work or clerical work or admin work that you can have Patty do? She's looking to get out of, you know, doing hair full time. I said, I think that would be selling herself short. Why doesn't she just get her license? I can help her become a full-blown agent, which is more rewarding than working for someone 9 to 5 and collecting a paycheck that never seems to go up, and it's just, you know, you do all the work. And he said, oh, you know, maybe she'll go for it. And then when I spoke to you about it, you had this big smile, but you said you always smile. You had this big smile. So happy
It's my
about it.
nervous tick, I smile.
And I was like, oh, she really wants to do it. And then you came back like a month later, you had passed your exam, like I did it. I was like, wow, you have the gumption. Because you can tell people sometimes what to do, and they don't do it.
Yeah.
They don't listen. So you can tell, like, they're not really serious about it, but you actually went right for it.
Oh no, when I want something, I really do. And I mean, at first, like, my whole thought was that I was going to just learn. I wanted to learn. I like to know what I'm doing prior to doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I like to understand it. So for me, the whole thing was I figured I would come in and work in the office and learn everything beforehand. And you know, you have a way of words, and I walked out of here like, I'm going to be the best. I literally walked to my car and I said, I'm going to be the best real estate agent there is. And then 3 weeks after I got my license, I'm like, why did I do this?
You get used to it.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
You got a roller coaster.
But I mean, it's, I went and took the test. I went to school, and you know, me and Rob had debates because Rob doesn't understand my testing abilities. So when I come home from work and he's from school, and he's like, "Are you going to study?" And I'm like, "No, I don't need to. I'm okay."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm telling you, the test is hard." And I'm like, "I got this. I'm all right."
Yeah.
So, and the test was hard. Halfway through the test, I sat there and I was like, "I failed this." So when I walked out and they were like, "Pass," I was like, "Oh, thank God." But I did it, and it was, you know, I was glad I didn't have to take it again.
That's awesome.
And here I am.
Yeah. I'll mention something real quick before I let someone else ask. Is what you felt were when you said, I need to study it first, work in it first before I can go ahead and do it. That's and don't take this the wrong way, but that's a symptom called analysis paralysis. Is that when people want to overanalyze stuff and make sure they're perfect before they take a chance on themselves, is actually something that's going to hurt you in the long run.
Oh, I know.
Right now, you're learning on your own dollar. Right now, you're learning because your deals are dying on your own dollar. if that would have happened to me and you were helping as an admin, it wouldn't have resonated in your brain as much as it's resonating now. When I first got started in the business, I had a house under appraised for me, and I didn't know it was one of my first deals too. The appraiser calls me and says the home under appraised, is that going to be a problem? I said, no, absolutely not. That's fine. I had no idea what I was saying. I had no idea what that even meant. I just didn't want to sound stupid on the phone.
Yeah.
And then I told my client, like, yeah, the home under appraised, but we're looking to close by the end of the month. And they're like, what does that even mean? And then so the deal never closed, but I learned because I had to go through it. And so I would tell anyone, not just yourself, that if there's something that you want to get into, just go ahead and go for it. Get into it. Make the mistakes on your own. As long as you know that you have someone that's there that can help you mentor you and guide you through those mistakes, or maybe help you avoid some of the mistakes that could be avoided. But there's nothing better than just getting in there and doing it.
Yes, there is, and I know that I have, I have a little bit of social anxiety, which I've worked through a lot over the last, I'd say, 10 years.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Go up on stage.
it's, it's still something I struggle with and deal with. But
I'll stop hogging this spot. Who else has a question for Patty or a comment? I know you guys are burning with questions. Just go ahead and ask them.
Nope.
You guys are being very rude back there.
it's okay.
Randomizer?
Okay, go ahead.
Where did you get your shirt from?
Where did I get my? Bridget got it for me.
It's
Actually.
from All Things Real Estate.
Oh, okay. I followed them on Instagram. Okay.
Any other questions?
I think you said something about like social.
It's the best story.
My social anxiety.
That's
Yeah.
But like you just spoke so
I've
well,
watched them
like,
for
confidently.
a long time.
If you didn't notice, I spoke extremely
You're
fast
addicted.
because it's I get through it.
You should give yourself more credit. It was
I know. Like I said, it's something that I've definitely worked myself through for the last. I mean, if you had met me 10 years ago, I
Oh,
sat
no,
in the
it's
corner
real. It's like
and
real.
didn't want to
they
talk
have
to
their own
anybody.
story to
I mean, even Lou. When I first met Lou, Lou told my husband he thought I didn't like him because I didn't speak to him. I only spoke to Helen.
I love it.
Like it's just the way I
it's a real
am.
story.
I try my best to get past it, and I've
So you maybe want to.
No, you got a good stage presence, so don't cut yourself short.
Thanks.
Anyone? So the fact that you're coming from an industry that I was in before getting into real estate, it really I can really relate with you. The fact that you're doing hair and cutting hair is a very great skill to have, but it's not really mentally challenging, stimulating. So I can see how you come to a crossroads where like I do hair and it's profitable and I meet a lot of great people, but then again I know I'm meant for bigger things. So I know that you'll eventually make a transition, if not full-time, more of a prominent time into real estate, because real estate, even though it is a pain in the butt sometimes, it could be very greatly rewarding when you see someone get their first home, or when you help somebody flip their first house, or or when you made someone's dream come true, because those are the people who call you over for dinner 2 years down the road. Then usually your hair clients are like, oh, nice job, and here's a tip. You don't really connect with them that much, but this is a life-changing thing for people. So we're very proud to have you here.
Well, thank you.
And I'm glad you made the choice to come on with us. One more question.
Just like to say, Patty, that when I look at the picture up there, keeps going through my head is the famous Jaws, and if you water and the sharks start playing with the water.
When did you go there?
I don't remember going there either.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Patty. Guys,
No
you're right.
problem.
That's great. Okay, guys, so now we have with us our special guest, Dawn Brown from PRMG.
That's alright, I don't care.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is someone else going to speak? Huh?
Did you step up to say that?
No, I swear I didn't.
Did I say something wrong?
No, not at all.
In her eyes, you didn't.
Oh.
It's okay, you can take the floor.
Jeff Earwood and Dawn Brown. It's an ongoing joke, Lou, because
Oh.
he never gives me any credit.
Oh,
so
no?
the fact that you completely omitted him just humors me.
He's your,
immensely.
for as far as I'm concerned, he's your +1. So come on, it's all you. Come on, it's all you.
Boss one, there's
It's
your
all
favorite
you.
expression. So,
Do you guys, are you guys going to both come up? I'll give
Yes,
you some
thanks.
more. Okay, no problem. Can I get the other mic, guys?
you want food?
I think it's back there.
It's already back.
It's back there.
So we're going to grab food and eat while I'm talking?
Oh, no, not at all. No, not at all.
Alright, whatever.
Can you help him? I know, help her. Let me get this off. We'll pass those out for you, Dawn. Don't worry. Just leave them with Paul. He'll pass the rest out. Just clip this onto your lapel.
Okay.
Hold this in your hand. It'll make it sound a lot better for you now.
Okay.
You guys give your full attention.
Oh.
It's been covered.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dawn.
I put the cover image because, yes, we lend money, but that's not who we are as a people, as a culture. It's family first, and then faith, and yes, the business is how we bring money in to support our family. So to me, that's really important. We are all professionals and we're all good at what we do, and we've all achieved a certain level of mastery. And this happens to be just one of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes of all time. Mastery never stops. Every day we achieve to learn and grow more. And I think the people that think that they know it all in our business, in our industry, stop growing and stop achieving and stop learning and stop earning money. Mastery never stops. If you're truly a master, you always are looking for the next level. But it's good every now and then to realize you've got a certain level of success and own it. But there's a foundation to get more momentum. So I thank you for bringing us in, and together I hope that we have reached that foundation, and together we can take it to the next level. I want to take 30 seconds, just talk to us a little bit about our first-time home buyers. When I had the pleasure of having lunch with Esther, I said we have an abundance of first-time home buyers that are plentiful in prospects, but the ability to flip them is sometimes challenging. And I said, it's very easy. It's going to the root of the why in the apprehension. The reason that we're not turning them over from prospects to home buyers is apprehension. And it's just a matter of finding what the why is. And so my background comes from motherhood and education and psychology. So I'm on the phone every morning with our first-time home buyers, and Jeff will often joke with me, he says, can you get off the phone with your friends? We have work to do. But it's the truth. We're talking about what'd you do this weekend? How are the kids? And through that, I'm ascertaining what the why is. As long as you don't pull my credit, you don't pop the bubble, and I can still keep that dream of I can have a house alive. As soon as you pull my credit, I'm afraid. You're going to tell me no. And I always tell them the answer is never no. The worst case scenario of credit, income, and assets, the worst possible scenario of I lost my job, they padlocked my house today from the sheriff from a foreclosure, and I filed bankruptcy, the worst possible scenario is you are 4 years away. Worst possible scenario. And if that's the case, we're going to become besties for the next 4 years. I'm not going to leave you. We'll walk through it together. The answer is never no. It's just not today. I understand that the lion's share of your business is not first-time home buyers. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Jeff so that he can go over what is most of your attention today, which is our extensive non-QM line and commercial.
Thanks. Thank you, Dawn. Let me just grab this. Well, thanks, Dawn. I appreciate that. How many folks grew up watching Happy Days as a kid? Who watched it, right? Okay. What's that?
Once or twice.
Once or twice. Who remembers what Mr. Cunningham did for a living? Anybody else remember? He did. He had a hardware store. Exactly, exactly. And there was an episode of Happy Days where Mr. Cunningham was very upset because Hardware Village was moving in next door. And Hardware Village was this huge conglomerate hardware store, probably in the mold of Home Depot. And Mr. Cunningham was complaining that Hardware Village had 600 different types of nails. And he said, I only have 2, rusty and not rusty. That's all I got. Well, in a sense, we're Hardware Village. We're not Mr. Cunningham's hardware store. We have a lot of different things. We pride ourselves on having everything under the sun, all kinds of different options. So in no particular order, I'm going to start with my executive summary, which I think everyone has a copy, right? Dawn, did you hand it out? Okay. So to start off with, I do residential lending through PRMG, which is a residential mortgage company. I also do commercial as a business for myself. I do commercial lending. So number one, my company PRMG has all the QM products. Now, if you don't know what QM is qualified mortgage, which is you prove income, you prove assets, we make sure you can buy the house, and at the end of the day, they sell the loan to the government agencies, Fannie, Freddie, HUD, and so on. So I have everything under the sun in that respect. And I know that that's not the focus of this office, but I can cover that. I mean, it's there, it exists. And my company has more lenient underwriting criteria than some of the big guys like Wells, B of A, and so forth. Wells, B of A have what's called underwriting overlays. One of their overlays is credit score overlays. They won't do a loan under a 640 credit score or a 620 credit score, depending upon which lender you're talking to. PRMG will go down to 550 on an FHA loan, okay? So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that because you've all heard about that, I'm sure. The next thing on my list was investor loans without income documentation. I love this product because it allows you to buy a house without proving income. So I don't ask for tax returns. What we do is we pull credit, we look at the matrix. Depending upon what your credit score is, it will dictate how much money you need to put down. And we do an appraisal and find out what the theoretical rental value is for this property. So if the rental value is $1,000, we take 10% off the top, make it $900. If $900 is greater than the PITI for this house, you close. It's about as simple can be. No tax returns, just got to prove your assets. That's about it, and your credit's got to be halfway decent, okay? Wonderful product to have. Dawn and I do these all the time. We usually have 2 in the pipeline every month just because there's no place else to go. It's great for investors, okay? We also do condotels, which if you don't know what they are, condotels are condos that are sort of like hotels at the same time. So they combine the word into condotels. The Fannie Freddie world won't touch them, but we have an outlet for them to do condotels. So a condotel would be you own a condo, unit 16 in this big building, and you live 3,000 miles away and you want to rent it out, and the person shows up to the front desk at the hotel and says, "Hi, I'm John Smith. I'm here to rent out Betty Jones's condo, unit 16," and they basically walk you up there and let you in, and you spend your week. I don't know if there's a market for that in Jersey. It's certainly all over Florida, but is there a market for that in Jersey, Louis?
Or in Hudson County.
Okay.
You would see that.
Okay, so that's a possibility if you need condotel financing. Number 4, bank statement loans. I love this product for the self-employed person who is not showing a lot of income on their tax returns, or perhaps they don't file tax returns. We could do a bank statement loan, and there's several outlets I have for that. We can do either 12 months of bank statements or 24 months of bank statements. You get a better rate if you show more months. If you show less months, it's not as good. We did one in Orlando a couple years ago. This gentleman had never filed a tax return in his life, but he had 2 thriving businesses. And we just did the bank statements. He bought a house for $1.3 million, like 7,000 square feet in Altamont Springs, Florida, which is right outside Orlando. So that's a great product for someone who is self-employed, who doesn't show a lot of income, or doesn't even file tax returns, as in this gentleman's case. The next one on our list would be asset depletion loans. Oh, by the way, the investor loans with no income documentation are only for investment properties. You can't do that on an owner-occupied house because then Dodd-Frank comes into play and all bets are off. You can't do it, okay? A lot of these products are designed for not owner-occupied, but bank statement loans can be for owner-occupied, as we did for that gentleman in Orlando area. Asset depletion loans is another option without proving income. In that situation, you would have a huge amount of assets, I don't know, let's say $1 million. and we look at the portfolio of assets and figure out what a theoretical rate of return on the assets would be. And then we'd figure out what that number is, call that your income, do a debt-to-income calculation, see if you qualify, and you buy the house. It's a wonderful product if you don't want to cash out your investments and your income is low. Okay? We have a whole bunch of non-conforming jumbo loans, which I know are big in this market. For people who don't have the highest of credit scores, that can happen with jumbo loans. We have loans for foreign nationals. So if you're somebody who has a client who's from Europe and wants to buy here, they can buy here. In fact, the foreign national loans is actually the easiest loan product I have because they're basically a no-doc loan. We closed one. The lady bought from London. She was actually a hairdresser. She owned a styling salon in London. And we didn't pull credit because she had no credit. We didn't get her tax returns because it was too complicated, so we just did a no-income loan. And she was able to get the assets from her family. Her brother, her husband, her parents gave her the cash she needed to buy the house. It was pretty simple. We have a whole bunch of fix and flip loans. So if you're an investor who wants to buy a property and needs money to fix and flip, that's available as well. There's a bunch of criteria involved with that. They look at how seasoned the investor is. If the investor is seasoned and has done a number of fix and flips and we can document it, they'll allow for a higher loan to value. So it all depends on how the investor looks. It's not a Fannie Freddie loan, and it's kind of fluid in terms of the criteria. So it all depends, but if you see that situation and you need to buy something and invest it to flip it, we have financing for that, okay? New construction loans, I have those, whether construction to perm financing or investment construction loans, those exist. We also have commercial blanket loans. We're doing a deal right now where a gentleman's buying a $3.5 million apartment building in Pennsylvania. It's 65 units. He happens to own 9 residential houses outright. He's closing without any money. We're going to put a blanket on the 9 houses, which is our down money for the 65-unit commercial building, and he's going to close. We're closing July 15. I have warrantor and warrantable and non-warrantable condos. I can do those with different levels of money down. Commercial lines of credit. One of our outlets has a commercial line of credit where if you're a business owner, we'll give you a line of credit for 5 times the amount you currently show in the bank. So if you're showing $50,000, you can get a line of credit for $250,000. Okay. And the last thing in our matrix is commercial lending. The banking matrix that we work with, we have a bat phone to the president of a local bank in New York City, and we run deals by him, and being that it's commercial and he's the president of the bank, he uses common sense underwriting. So if the deal makes sense to him and it falls outside the box, he'll make a different box for your client. So there's other options there. I went over it quickly because I didn't have a lot of time, but I wanted to ask, what questions do you have? Open the floor to everyone and anyone who has questions about a scenario, something that blew up or sank, or something that you're working on.
Can you explain to me what non-warrantable condo is? Because 99% of condos around here are non-warrantable.
There's 2 ways of doing those. You could do it as a split loan, where you do a 75-15-10. It's actually 75-14.99, 10.1. You could do it that way, where you have a first and second mortgage. That's one way of doing a non-warrantable condo. Or we have other lenders that will do it straight out as a non-warrantable condo with more money down. But that's how they can do it.
The definition of a non-warrantable condo, because they probably don't know what that means.
Oh, the definition of a non-warrantable condo. Okay. All condo associations, in order to be eligible for financing with Fannie and Freddie and FHA, the condo association has to fill out a questionnaire and answer questions. And depending upon how they answer the questions, it will decide if the condo association is approved or not. One of the questions they ask is, what's the investor concentration? Another question would be, what percentage of the homeowners are behind in their dues? Another question would be, is there any litigation? And it's a long list of questions that they ask. And if the questions are answered correctly, or not correctly, but the loan can be approved, with 5% down conventional, or you can go with FHA. Every condo association is different. I recall going back like 7, 8 years, I financed a condo for somebody at a development in June. And then he said, I love this place so much, I want to buy the one across the street. And by August, the association was not approved because litigation had started in July. And litigation is something that the government agencies do not want to buy loans for, in those situations. For you as real estate agents, when you come across a house that is a condo, I would call the listing agent first and ask them if the association is approved. If he responds as if you're speaking a different language, then call the association and ask them. If they don't know the answer, then the next step would be to send them the questionnaire and find out what the story is. There's only one other place you can go to get the answer, which would be if it's an FHA loan. FHA has a centralized website that will tell you if a condo association is approved or not. And I go there all the time and look. And it'll give the current status. It'll say approved, rejected, expired, and so forth. If we still don't have the answer, the last option would be to actually roll the dice for your client, which is risky, and it could blow up in your face. What you could do is write up the deal, put down conventional or FHA financing, get the appraisal done, get the condo questionnaire done, and hope that it comes back approved, that the questions get answered properly, the appraiser says everything's good, but there's no guarantees. So condos you have to do more homework. I have to do more homework, and we all need to do more homework in a condo situation because nobody wants to get, 3, 4 weeks into a deal and find out we didn't do our homework correctly at the beginning and things went wrong. Okay? Who else? Tell me about some of your deals. What are you guys working on? Anything unusual?
Anything weird? I have a few listings.
I'm sorry?
I have a few listings. Nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual? Okay. Patty, what happened with your deal? What went wrong with your deal?
Well, it appraised for $15,000 less, and the sellers don't want to come down that far, and the buyers don't have more cash.
Oh, you're sunk.
I was just talking to the agent. Now she's trying to get me to have them switch loans because maybe a different place will appraise it higher. And
What kind of loan were you doing?
an FHA.
Oh, no, you're sunk. Well, I'm sorry. FHA, the appraisal stays attached to the house. You got to switch to conventional. That would be.
3% conventional,
I'm sorry?
3% conventional,
Maybe, yeah.
That happens to me.
Yeah, you could do a conventional.
3%?
3%, yeah.
Well, depends on the credit, right?
Depends on the credit, yep. There's less seller assist on a 3% conventional. And honestly, unless the credit score is very high, you'll pay more with a 3% conventional because of the MI. But you could try switching to a conventional appraisal, but the FHA appraisal is going to be attached to the house for 4 months. So perhaps go back to this listing agent and remind the listing agent that your seller is going to be stuck with that value for the next 4 months on an FHA purchase. So their hands are tied unless a conventional appraisal and a conventional buyer shows up. It might give you a little bit of leverage to try and work that deal out. All right. What else? Who else?
So you guys have a wide variety of loans available. You broker some of these, or are these all
yes.
funded by PRMG?
Oh yes, yes. The PRMG's got everything, but in addition to what PRMG has to offer, there's 20 or so different places I can go to broker deals. I use banks such as Sprout, AFR, Bank of Florida. I don't have them all memorized, but there's a whole bunch of them that I broker with. The investor loans, the bank statement loans, I broker to different banks. Citadel, Angel Oak, there's a whole bunch of them that I work with. And the commercial venue is a whole other avenue to work with for brokering. And certainly working with the president of the bank is a whole different animal all to itself. I'm working on financing a church out in Pennsylvania and a restaurant. We're in preliminary discussion to figure out how we're going to structure that. So there's all kinds of different ways to get things done, for sure. That's great. Yeah. What other deals have you guys had some trouble with? Anything else not go right recently?
They close all the deals 100%.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
No, they do. They close them.
Oh, they close them all. No.
100% of them.
Some ideas I can give all of you for your buyers. Some words of wisdom, if you would. So if a buyer says to you their credit's terrible, it's analogous to a car. You know, until we open the hood of a car, it's awfully hard for all of us to diagnose the car. The client might say to you, well, my car won't start, or it drives 30 feet, then it shuts off, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Well, until we look at the car closely, it's really hard to know what's wrong, and people's perception of their credit is not often reality, and sometimes solutions are simple. So I've had people come to me with terrible credit, and I pull credit, and the score is like 580. And I look at the credit, and I go, oh God, the solution's so easy. You have 3 credit cards that the limits total $10,000, and you're at $9,780. You're at 97% of your utilization. That's why your score is a 580. If you pay it down to roughly 20% of your limit, your score will shoot up. Now, I can say that just from experience, but in addition to experience, I have software that will actually give me the specific answer. So we have software that's called Wayfinder, and you open up the website and you put the person's information in, and Wayfinder will tell you exactly how many points you can raise a person's credit by doing X, Y, and Z. So that's one solution for situations. Other solutions that we've come across would be to add a non-occupying co-borrower to a situation. Sometimes that changes everything. Other situations we can do is, I always tell people, you know, please talk to the lender right away, whether it's me or somebody else. If you're planning on buying a house in September, don't wait till August. Let's start in May. Why do you start in May? Well, here's why you start in May. I have $50,000 cash underneath my mattress, and I want to buy a house. I can't have you put $50,000 in the bank this month to buy a house this month. It's a huge flag, huge flag. Several reasons why it's a flag, and this is something you need to communicate to your buyers. It's better to start now than wait until our back's against the wall and we got to find a solution. The reason why $50,000 going into the bank is a flag is because, first of all, every bank is required to file SAR reports, S-A-R. It's an acronym that stands for Suspicious Activity Report. You plop $50,000 cash in the banker's going to fill out a SAR report as soon as you walk out the door, and the FBI or the local authorities might knock on your door and ask why and how you have $50,000 cash. Are you a drug dealer? Are you involved in some kind of illegal activity? They might very well ask that, and I don't think anybody in this room really wants to answer those questions. So in that situation, what we need to do is figure out a way to get the money into the bank slowly, or ask for help from family. And that's something I'll help you understand how to do. So I have another deal right now I'm working on. This family has $1,000 in the bank and $7,000 at home. It's a small deal. It's $100,000 in Tennessee. And I told them 2 months ago, you guys need to bank your paychecks and spend your cash on living expenses. And that's what you need to do for someone who's got that kind of money laying in the house. Spend the cash on your living expenses, bank your paychecks. And that's going to take a while to filter through. Now, if you're more so in a hurry to get this done, then the solution is going to have to be, you need to find a relative who's got money. And you need to say to the relative, you know, Aunt Sally, could you do me a favor? Could you loan me money to buy a house? Hopefully Aunt Sally already has $50,000 in the bank. And then what you would do is you would hand Aunt Sally your $50,000 cash, and Aunt Sally would slowly put it in the bank on her own over time. And then Aunt Sally would make a gift to you of $50,000 so you can buy your house. But I need to talk to the buyer ahead of time to figure out what the strategy is. We need to have these conversations. So from a credit standpoint and an asset standpoint, we need to talk to the borrowers as soon as possible. Here's the third one that may not occur to anybody. I'm a truck driver. I'm W-2'd. I want to buy a house. I'm talking to you and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to buy the house, but right before I buy the house, I'm going to go out on my own and start my own trucking business. I'm going to start next month. Oh my God, no, don't do that. You go from being W-2'd to being self-employed. You just knocked yourself backwards 2 years buying a house. Because now that you're self-employed, I need 2 years of tax returns. You just shot yourself in the foot. We need to have these conversations with our borrowers and find out what they're doing ahead of time. The reverse is also true. I'm self-employed as a truck driver. You want to buy a house? Okay. Stop being self-employed, change your status to W-2, go get hired by Walmart as a truck driver, and overnight your situation just changed. You can buy a house. So all of your borrowers, when you talk to them, when you do the screening, when you sit down with them, these are all conversations we need to have to make sure things will work for them. Dawn, you must have something you could think. What else do we have? What else?
So I had a conversation with a listing agent, and she was getting all nervous because we have a closing on the 2nd. And she says, "What do you mean the file's just going into underwriting?" I says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Abby." I says, "You haven't had the pleasure of working with us before." I says, "We operate backwards. Jeff doesn't issue pre-quals. He runs them through DU or LP, which is the
software.
Underwriting software. And then I'm very heavy on the dot collection first to make sure there's no problems. So I pre-underwrite the file before it goes to underwriting, and then it goes to the underwriter as a clean file. We had a broker, a real estate broker, who gave us bank statements, and she said, "All I own is my primary residence. I want to buy an investment property." And I see a whole bunch of Zelle transactions, $1,200, $1,500. And I'm like, to all these different people. I said, "Jeff, she owns other real estate, and these are all Airbnb things. She's not telling you the truth." "No, she's a real estate broker. She wouldn't do that." And sure enough, she bought them all as hard money.
Yeah.
Didn't disclose it, and we prevented an explosion from. So it's proactive processing, not reactive.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked. You reminded me of those two stories. Yes, we had two deals in the last month where borrowers did not disclose to us the whole story, and it's important to know the whole story because there's the world we live in today. Between Facebook and all kinds of other things out there, the lenders can find out so much about you that you have no idea. Well, they don't know what that is. We got to tell them what that is. Yeah. There's software out there. There's LexisNexis and something else called Data Verify. And they will find out things that you don't tell me. They'll find it out in underwriting. And then once they find out in underwriting, it's out there. And then it's damage control.
A week before closing, you're going to get mad at me.
So it's kind of like going to court where the bailiff says you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but tell the truth to help you God kind of thing. It's kind of like that. I'm like you guys. I don't get paid unless it closes. My incentive is to close it because I want to get paid just like everyone in this room. So I don't get an hourly wage. It's success basis. So we had a transaction last month where this just in the middle of a refinance, he goes and finds a hard money lender and buys another property. And because of the way the Fannie Freddie world is, they found it at the end before the refinance gave it hit the closing table. Then I had to disclose everything. It changed the ratios. Now he doesn't qualify. And the underwriter has a bad taste in her mouth about him. And there was an issue where the underwriter can use her underwriter discretion on this big issue. And because she has a bad taste in her mouth, she voted against him. So now we got to go someplace else in that scenario. So it's important that the borrowers tell us everything. Yes, Louis?
Absolutely. We're running short on time. I got to respect everyone.
Sure, that's fine.
Guys, they brought food.
Any questions?
Stick around. They're going to obviously be able to answer more of your questions, or if you guys have any personal scenarios that you want them to qualify for you, they can do that. But we still have to do our announcements, and I want to get you guys out of here on time.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
It's going to need the mic. It's okay. I got it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, went into my pocket.
I'm not going to grab it.
Oh.
Stay on this one. Stay on this one.
I got the other one. It's good. All right. Very informative stuff. Thank you very much, Dawn and Jeff.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. Okay, so next, guys, I just want to cover with you really quickly our announcements, and we'll get you guys out of here with our closing prayer. Okay, so first announcement I want you guys to remember is that at the end, in a few days, at the end of this month, your license will be renewed. So if you guys haven't paid for your renewal yet, or if you haven't taken your questionnaire, right, there's some people have to do questionnaires, make sure you take care of that right away. If not, your license is going to expire at the end of this month. If you have sites such as Hubzu, Fannie Mae's, Home Steps, and all these other sites that you guys are agents of, you guys need to update your license information on there too, because it's going to expire.
Actually, everybody here is very good.
Everyone here is good. But what I'm saying now is, yeah, if you guys have your online sites, update your license information on there too, because next time you try to use it, it probably won't work. All right, so that's important. I belong to a speaking club called Toastmasters. They're going to do an open house on the 20th of next month, I believe. So if anyone's interested in becoming a better public speaker or being able to converse better in a public setting, whatever it is that you guys have a trouble with, like Patty said, she used to be deathly afraid to open up in front of people she doesn't know. People that join Toastmasters are exactly because of that reason, because they're socially awkward or they just don't have much ability to stand in front and hold a conversation with someone they don't know. So if anyone's interested in bettering themselves as a public speaker or just becoming more comfortable in their own skin when it comes to educating a group or maybe just talking to strangers that you don't know, Toastmasters is a great organization to learn how to do that. They're also coming to the office this week, I believe, if anyone wants to. They need a temporary place to hold a meeting. If anyone's interested in learning more about them sooner than later, I can let you guys know about, I think it's on the 26th of this week that they're coming in the evening. So if anybody wants to learn about that, just send me a private message and I'll give you more instructions on that. Definitely something good to think about if you guys want to become leaders one day. This Wednesday we don't have a dialogue class. As you know, Tom is away on vacation till I believe September or August or something. August, yeah, he's away till August. So we'll let you guys know the next time we'll have a dialogue class. So for now, you guys are just going to have to study whatever materials he's given you so far, or maybe just have a role play session with somebody that wants to do that with you during the hours that you have normally taken his dialogue class. And then lastly, guys, I wanted to remind you that, this is something for you guys as well that I want to introduce you to. The Hard Money Project, guys, as you know, is well underway. We have that website up 100%. It's definitely doing what it's supposed to right now, so we're worked a lot of the kinks out. Still a little bit of stuff left to go. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, the Hard Money Project is a place where any borrower that wants to borrow hard money or private capital or anything for their flipping projects, they can go to the site. From there they put in their application, and then all the lenders that have subscribed to our system as registered lenders or financiers, they can observe the loan, they can see whether they want to bid on it, and then they'll put their terms and their conditions and their rates right in front of them, so the borrower can now pick which person they want to work with. So instead of having to call 20 different lenders or do 20 different applications, their credit doesn't get ran ever until they pick the person they want to use. Now, your client will disclose enough information for your lenders, or for the lenders, to make a decision whether they want to entertain that loan or not. But then the lender can go in there and make their best bid. And the best thing about it, it doesn't cost your clients anything to use. And if you guys become affiliates of the site, you guys can also be compensated for a referral on there. So if anyone's interested in that, I have business cards upstairs that I can give you, so you guys can start registering your clients in there. If you guys do get hard money clients, they have credit lines on there, hard money, refinances for investors. So Jeff, this is actually something really good for you to sign up to. You could become one of our lenders on there, and you could bid on our loans. So right now we're averaging a lot of loans, averaging about 25 new applicants on the site every day. So we're looking to scale that as we go. So it'll be something good for you guys to look into as well. Any questions, guys, or concerns of any kind? Anyone have any comments to add? Okay, so that's been our class for today, or our mastermind for today. Let's just close out in our quick prayer like we do always every Monday. So guys, I'll get you out of here in just a sec. So Father God, we thank you once again for having us here as an extended family. We thank you for all the small blessings that we have in life. Sometimes we don't see them, and we don't thank you enough for them on a daily basis. But it's times like these when we get to reflect and look back that we thank you for all that we have and all that you do. We just ask you to make us better versions of ourselves every day, and we ask you to through you, use us to greater expand your word, and use us also as a model of what people can achieve, and make us better examples for everyone to see around you what great things you can do inside of a person when you're working your magic through us. So we thank you for everything that you've done. Once again, we ask you to pray over anyone in this room or anyone in this room who has a family member or a friend who may need a prayer at this moment. And we just ask you to keep us in good spirits and good health until we see each other again once again next week. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you. Amen. Thank you, everyone.